stream. This is the predictions and livery ranking stream. Would you like a rundown of how everything's going to go? Hello, Hannah, M, Zeke, Simply an F1 fan, Stream Elements, Lisa, Blicky, Ben, Honey, Beaksy, Scarlett, welcome. We have a vertical stream and we also have a horizontal stream on YouTube. So that they should both be on my page. Okay, cool. Hannah's there as well. Let's go, baby. Let's go. My day's been good, thank you. I got up quite early, but I've been fiddling with all of this stuff all day, including the graphics you're about to see. We are ranking every single livery from P11 to P10. We are then going to do 3 hot takes. I'm going to give you guys my biggest clanger and biggest banger. And then we're going to do drivers' predictions. Does that sound good? Does that sound right? I'm very good. Thank you, Simply an F1 fan. What about you? What do I think Oscar will finish? We're going to get into that, Jimbo. We got a big boy stream today because after all is said and done, we're watching the Formula E Evo race. Who's going to stay for that? Yes, I can turn down the music. I've just turned down my headphones. So I need to get used to that, but we're good. If anyone is on YouTube, can you please let me know if you hear music? You shouldn't be able to hear music because right now there's music going to Twitch and Twitch only. Josh! Thank you for I don't know why you didn't get a TTS there, but thank you for that. There we go. Nice, Josh. GG's, mate. Thank you for the tier 1 for 18 months. You absolute legend. Thank you very much. W's in chat, please. YouTube can't hear music. This is so peak. This is really good as well because I don't have to open this stupid TikTok live studio anymore. It's all from OBS. I'm very bright. I think that's better. Happy birthday, George Russell. What did everyone get, George Russell? What's up, Grav? I did not watch Bathurst. However, I saw a pretty gnarly crash. What's up, Bridget Joshua? How you doing? I can't hear music. I can hear music. YouTube shouldn't be able to hear music. And he's trying to watch the Bathurst highlights. I don't think we'll have time. Today's pretty jam-packed. I'm very red. Like, this whole room is very red. And it makes me look very red. I don't like it. I'm not touching you. Is that better? I think that's better. I saw Kangaroo got whacked. There was like a really bad incident at the top of the hill as well. Was he okay? I look like Liam Lawson. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. As every time my hair gets longer, I always get it. Josh, thanks for the rose as well. You don't like green, but you look good in a green shirt. Thank you. Thank you. I do think, you know how everyone's got those colors where they put something on and they're like, I think this color suits me. I think that's me with green. Green and white are my go-to colors, if anything. How was everyone's Valentine's Day? We are going to get into everything. I'm going to give it a second. We're going to warm up the stream and then we're going to start because the way this works is I give you my predictions and my rankings for the liveries and the teams and the drivers and the hot takes, and then you guys disagree, and then we argue, and then the season starts and we forget that this stream ever happened. What's up, Bluffy? How you doing? Thanuka, thank you. Thank you for joining. How are you? You felt single as hell? Chat, I split the G on Valentine's Day. I just realized I have Vic's phone. Vic! She can't hear me. Can someone tell her I've got her phone? I'm very good. Thank you for asking, Bluffy. I'm very good. We will treasure how good we feel right now because we're going to be disagreeing today, and we need to be okay with that. All right. We need to realize today, and we need to come. You need to be okay with disagreeing with each other today. You're playing F1 all day. Nice. That sounds like a good Valentine's Day. Hello, Ash Tonic. How you doing? Right. How long have we got? We've got a couple of hours until we have to do the Formula Evo race, if you know what that means.
Lovely, you can just bring it to me. Thank you. Bloody hell. I did think, I was like, where is it? I was like, oh, no.
Thank you, Ben. I'm feeling good and I'm ready to be pissed off by Luke Sam. Should I tell you the order that we're going to do everything? Celebrate every day with your cats. They're loyal, more loyal than men. I see that. I respect that. Big ups the cats. Okay, let's tell you the order that everything is going to go. We're going to start. Obviously, the big boy is the Drivers' Championship. So we're going to finish with that. The Drivers' Championship is the thing that we do before the Formula Evo race. And I highly recommend that you hang about for that because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do liveries, P11 to P1. We are then going to do my 3 hot takes, which are spicy. 3 hot takes this year are very, very spicy. One of my hot takes last year was correct as well. No, last year, the year before. I don't think I got any right last year, but the year before I got one, but it was a big one. Then we're going to do this new thing that I call banger versus clanger. Last year, it was riser versus slider. This year, it's banger versus clanger. It's basically I'm picking a team who is going to do better than everyone thinks, and I'm picking a team that's going to flop. Banger, good. Clanger, bad. But I like the word banger versus clanger. And then we're going to do drivers' predictions. We're going to do the top 10. As we go through everything as well, you guys are going to be able to vote on the screen. So when I give my prediction, for example, in P1, we have Esteban Ocon. I will put a vote on the screen that says, where do you think he will place? And you get to place him yourself by typing in chat. And that vote is going to be there for as long as we are talking about that person. And then we're going to move on. Does that make sense? You have at YouTube streams live with different numbers of wait, what, Max? Sorry, what was that? I've currently got 2 different YouTube streams live. I've got a vertical one and a horizontal one in case anyone is scrolling YouTube shorts. That is something that I've changed today. You can't hear music. Sweet. How does the vertical one look for everyone? We're everywhere right now. Unless it's not shorts, because if it's not going through as shorts and it's just a crappy stream, I might as well get rid of it. I just wanted to have it there for people who wanted to be vertical. Maybe we've been off the vertical one. What do you think? You guys let me know what you think, because I think you get the black bars and everything. Maybe that's not worth it. Don't tell me the team I'm thinking about is going to be what I'm thinking it is. I'm telling you that the team that you're thinking about is going to be what the team where you're thinking that it is. I can't remember. Can someone check if the vertical stream is crap? Because if it is, we're just going to get rid of it. Yeah, I don't like vertical streams either. I just thought, why not? I did the thing where songs only go to Twitch. Am I going to the Melbourne Grand Prix? Yes. Also, I leave for Australia technically now tomorrow because I'm staying at Heathrow the night before because we have an early flight. So technically tomorrow. Makes my head look massive. Huge. Do we just turn it off? Don't tell me it's cooked the other one. Has it? No, we're good. I think. Let me know. Can you meet me? I don't know if you can find me, fella. I'm going to be hiding. No, I'm not going to be hiding. I'm going to be very easy to find once we get tickets. Was finding your life for tickets yet? I mean, I don't have them yet, but I do plan on having them. It looks like the YouTube stream is still going ahead and the vertical one is no longer happening, which is a dub. No data, end stream, and well, this is what we're doing. This is pre-season testing for me as well. So vertical streams on YouTube are a no-go, which means we just stay horizontal. Does that make sense? I did bin off vertical YouTube. It come through different than I thought. I didn't think it would have the black bars, but it did. And everything else was okay. So I think if you guys are ready to crack on, I'd love to crack on. This is a very interactive predictions and livery ranking stream. However, if you want to participate in the votes, you need to be on Twitch, not YouTube or TikTok, because they don't work. Are we ready? Hit record, baby. I am ready. Speaking of record, maybe I genuinely should. Let's have a look-see. Because this is also a good test to see if my PC can handle it. We are running, our CPU's running hella low right now. Staying on YouTube, no problem. When you come back to Australia, you need to try Oscar Piastri at Grilled. I will, and I'll make a video about it as well. Should you go to Twitch? Hell yeah. I mean, you watch on whatever platform you would prefer to watch on. I know some people have YouTube Premium, so they prefer to be on YouTube because there's no ads. Some people like to be on Twitch because the chat is maybe a little bit more active. However, in terms of me reading chats, I have everything now, which is so good. And I've waited ages for this. You'll be on Twitch later. You're listening to as you're doing housework. That is very fair. Also, YouTube's a good alternative if you want to listen to your own music while watching the stream as well. I would probably, I don't know. I like Twitch, but maybe watch on YouTube, play my own music at the same time, but chat on Twitch, watch on YouTube. I don't know. There's too many options, chat. I've spoilt you. You're going to Silverstone this year, hopefully. Awesome. Have so much fun. What's up, Racer Man? You did. You got the perfect screenshot yesterday. If you guys didn't see, it's my go live picture. Are we ready? I need to just hype myself up because I know at the end of this stream, or even at the end of this first segment, I think the first thing that you guys see, you're going to disagree with. But I stand by everything I say today. You can clip this right now. I stand by everything I say today. These livery rankings, these hot takes, these bangers and clangers, the Drivers' Championship. I have put so much thought into this. It's kept me up at night because it happens every year where I say something that you guys don't agree with and I get rinsed for it. Sometimes it comes true. Sometimes it doesn't. My drivers' standings have changed 100 times, but as soon as it was put into my streaming whatever, OBS, there's no taking it back. So I stand by it. Okay? I'm excited to hear what you guys think. I stand by everything. I have been changing everything. One, change this up here, up there, up there. I've been doing that for the last week. But now it's time to show. Can't wait. It's your first ever Grand Prix. That is sick. Ferrari's going to be the clanger. Can't wait for these to be 100% accurate or 100% wrong. Looking at everything that I've done, there's no in between. You guys are going to 100% wholeheartedly, completely agree with me, or it's going to be the other side of the spectrum. Are we ready? Let me make sure everything is set up. Everything is ready. All right. We are starting with you've clipped it. Awesome. You can post it wherever you like, Max. You'll sit on the fence the entire time just to spite you. Brilliant. You guys will understand how these votes work very quickly as well. Are we ready? Thank you, Racer Man. Yeah, we stop over in Abu Dhabi for literally 45 minutes. All right, over we go. We're going to be starting off with liveries. And the longer that you guys stay in this stream, the spicier it's gonna get. Don't forget that. The Nuka, thank you for the follow. I think we should just start it off. I will, Racer Man. Thank you. We're gonna be starting off with liveries. We're gonna go from P11 to P1. You're here just in time, Kabuta. I would like to make a quick disclaimer. If you hate me after this, Please don't. Ah, fuck. I love these streams every single year, but I just don't make friends from it. In P11, in the livery ranking competition for Formula One, I'm very nervous. We're started off with a bang, all right? This is to set the tone for the rest of the day. McLaren is officially my least favorite livery on the grid this season. On Twitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through 11 will cast your vote. That is no joke. This is so funny. Livery rankings, low-key, might be my favorite thing to do because everyone has different taste. For me, the McLaren is awful. It's harsh to put it in P11, but at the end of the day, a livery has to be last. This is a very love-hate livery. I'm not a fan of orange, so naturally it's already gone down the order. I'm not comparing it to how much it's changed last year. I'm not comparing it to anything like that. I'm comparing it solely off of this year's livery. I'm not comparing it to other liveries or anything. I'm comparing it to itself. Most people are agreeing with me. We have a P1, we have a P5, a P7. If you guys want to vote, all you have to do is put a number in chat. I think the sponsors on the front of the car are too thin, and on the broadcast, the front wing just looks orange, like they've gone back in time and they've got no sponsors. The side pod, they've added more papaya, which is great, but the black stripe still confuses me. Too much carbon fiber. MasterCard not playing a big enough role considering. You guys can only vote once, by the way. How do we feel about that? Is that an L or a dub? Because you guys kind of went crazy. Some of you are going to say McLaren are your favorite, and that's great. A lot of the time with liveries, someone says this is my favorite, and I get it. And even though McLaren is my least favorite livery, I get it. They are nice colors. But every other livery is just nicer. And this isn't just what we saw in the showroom or the renders. This is what we've seen on track. Keep that in mind. If we were going off the launches and the renders, this list would be completely different. You think Audi is last? At the end of the day, you are comparing them to other liveries. I know I said before that I wasn't comparing them to other liveries. I am. I'm not comparing it to McLaren's past liveries. And when you look at the scope of the field this year with the liveries, this might be my favorite grid in terms of liveries ever. And so it sucks that McLaren's last, but I think it's really impressive that it was this hard. A lot of you are saying towards the bottom, so I'm glad you agree. We've actually set the tone for the stream. Imagine they put purple in the car, it would be straight up P1. It would. It would. Right. Poll is sorted. P11 is the winner. A third of voters agreed with me. That is huge. Thank you very much for your vote of confidence. Right, P11 is sorted. That is our current rankings. We're on to P10. McLaren is just a shit version of last year. I agree. Well, do I? Because I like it better than last year. I'm sorry, McLaren. They don't deserve to be last ever, except for this year's livery. You love the graphic? Thank you. I spent so much time on these. I love using Photoshop. In P10, for the livery rankings, a team I'm very excited for, a team that I hope does well. Whether they do well or not is going to be up for debate, and we're going to go through it later. We're going to go through the ins and outs of everything. A lot of you can already tell what it is. And I don't think it's too not obvious, if that makes... What's the opposite? I don't think it's too... I can't remember. Racer Man! I'm going to... Hang on a second. TTS takes a second. Thank you for the 2 months at tier 1, Mr. Discombobulate. I appreciate it. Can we get some W's in chat, please, for Racer Man? Right, what are we doing? P10. Audi. This was last until I saw it on track. And then I started to I understood the vision a little bit more. A little bit more than McLaren, if that's not obvious. I don't think anyone is going to be shocked here, right? Cool. There we go. You guys can vote. If you guys want your vote to count, you will just have to wait for it to pop up on screen. If you've typed the number, try again. I think majority of voters here are going to say towards the bottom. When I saw it on track, I understood the vision a little bit more. I'm not saying I fully understand it, but I understand the vision just a little bit more. I'm sorry that the vote graphic blocks the livery, but like you guys know what we're talking about. I couldn't find anywhere else to put it on screen. I know I could probably like put it up here or over here, but I wanted it to be on the graphic. Maybe I'll move it into the corner. Maybe that's better. You got to disagree again? Do you like the Audi? Who here? Well, I mean, one person is rated at P3. The rest are more towards the bottom. And I think it's very hard to hit that sweet spot if this is what you're going for of sleek and clean, because a Formula One car notoriously is quite busy. And the red is really nice, but there's too much silver. It's very blocky. P12 safety car could take P1. Actually, now that Aston Martin, the Vantage isn't there, maybe I disagree with that. I like the Audi more than Alpine, but so many good liveries, not gonna lie. I agree, Azure, and that makes this so much more difficult. If you guys want to vote 1 through 11 in chat, we'll put it on the screen. It makes it all the more difficult when all the liveries are so good. I think most years, or almost every year that I've done this, most rankings are the same. There's a clear winner and there's a clear last place. This year, everyone is going to be different, I think. The red Merc safety car is back. I think so. I think the Aston Martin Vantage has been pulled. I'll let Audi officers have first season, but I'll say their engine sounds better than Honda. I think the Honda sounds like it's going to blow up. Have we seen their race suits? Holy discombobulate, if that's the word of the day. Yeah, the blocky color, the gray pants, the Harry High pants look. It's just not great, is it? Tor, thank you. Cameron, I should say. Excuse me. Thank you for the follow. Excuse me. You fear you already know my P1. It's Haas. No sponsors, so I don't like it. And it looks like a battery. Very fair. Very, very fair. Right, that is P10. It does look like a lot of you guys agree. We're agreeing so far. This is the longest that a prediction stream has ever gone smoothly. Poseidon, thanks for the follow. The race suits are not on it. Yeah, they were not. If the race suits were counted, these guys would be straight up last. Hell no. That's literally the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Cool. We've updated the standings. We've got P10 through P11. Cadillac is Lukey Boy's P1. You've just jinxed it now. Good one. What did I jinx? Can you ask us to vote? Then you reveal your vote. I guess it wouldn't cloud some people's judgment. That sounds like a great idea. However, the way I've set it up is to go in my order and then you guys... Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it would be like... I would have to do it in a weird order. Next one, we won't agree. On my stream deck, I put everyone's logos so I can see who is about to come up, because obviously it's so hard to remember all the drivers, all the constructors, all the liveries, my hot takes, and the bangers and clangers in order. But we're on to P9. P9 better be Alpine. I like it this way. I like he's trying to justify himself. It's fun. I feel like I have to justify myself. Who are you guys putting P9? You got an Aston, Cadillac, Williams. This is completely random. What's completely random? P9 V car? Well, Funny you say that. P9 is not V-carb. This was my favorite livery for so long. For 22, 23, 24, 25, it was second. And this year, I'm just not vibing with it. I'm just not vibing. I loved it. Wow, you guys are agreeing. What is going on? This isn't how this goes. You guys aren't supposed to agree. Maybe we're just warming up. You guys are meant to be like ripping my head off right now. Alpine, the carbon fiber side looks like Shark took a bite out of it. That's my problem with it. When comparing it to all the other liveries on the grid, there's too much carbon fiber. I don't care that it's the same as the last couple of years because I like it. How does this work? What's up, Cameron? The way this works is we are currently going through all my favorite liveries in reverse order. And as we get to the team, for example, Alpine, all you have to do is put a number in chat on where you'd put them. And the poll will update with your vote. You're not our dad or boss, so we can agree with you. Okay, good point. Good point. You guys are actually my boss in a weird roundabout way. But it's just not worse than Ferrari with its reject shop red. This is where we disagree. I really like that the Ferrari has gone brighter. I think if you're going to go brighter, you do it at the start of a new reg. And if they're going to be as strong as a lot of the other teams, everyone except Ferrari are saying, why not try something different? I agree, Falcon. It's more to do with where everything is rather than what everything is. I love blue. I love pink. I love carbon fiber. But the carbon fiber is just in the wrong places, and that's what takes it all the way down to P9. With all the other liveries being so nice, I've had to be very picky. The stream for this livery was so quiet. Alpine stream, not yours. I had it juiced. The launch for this was so sick. Like, you're on a boat. You're releasing your livery. This is awesome. And Flavio Briatore is talking this far away from his mic and whispering. And then every time they introduce someone new, wow, 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 wow. Do we have the car? Thank you, we on the boat. I like firing people. Our two drivers, I forget their name. Wow, 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 wow. Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto are up on the stage. Yeah, hi, we're excited to drive the car. Shall we get the CEO of MSC Cruises, who no one knows? Yeah, come on up here. Wow, 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 wow. Boop, boop, boop. Wow, 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 wow. Hi, I'm the CEO, and I'm about to say something extremely boring. I think Flavio is French. Correct me if I'm wrong. That sounded like Toto. Yeah, the host was a bit dodgy as well. I love firing drivers that isn't Colapinto. When they're not bringing in the money, I just like firing them. Okay, wow. Is that 3 in a row where you guys agree with me? P9. I'm not used to this. This is the first. This isn't going to go forever, so soak it in. But this is the first prediction stream where everyone's kind of agreeing, and I fuck with that. So thank you. I love the white it mixes with the glossy red. You're talking about the Ferrari? Briatore is Italian. Oh, my bad. You don't want to get them two countries mixed up. Right, cool. P9 is sorted. This list is getting more full, and the more full that it gets, the more nervous I get also. Cadillac going to be next. P8 Williams. Flavor's a non-extradition citizen. It is all personal preference. I think when it gets to the prediction side rather than the ranking side, that's when we disagree. Because I have a feeling like mine are going to be different to yours for the most part. And it's a matter of validating why you've chosen it. If someone says to me, Lewis Hamilton is going to win the world championship, I'll be a little bit iffy. But if they can justify it, I'll see your point of view. I think it's a sign of high intelligence to be like, you know what? We disagree right here. However, you bring up some really valid points. So I'm going to agree to disagree. Asian Josh Jr., thank you for the follow. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. There is a really, really cool video coming out on YouTube after I've been to the Grand Prix. So keep your eyes peeled. The thumbnails are all done. And they look so... These might be my favorite thumbnails ever, but no spoilers. It's really Delulu, but Delulu is the Salulu. It's the thumbnails are done because I've had so much time to prep them, and the video is planned out to the T. When I'm in front of the camera, I'm making it up because that's how you get your natural side across. But in terms of what I'm doing and where I'm doing it, that is already planned out, if that makes sense. Thank you, Max. This is I put a lot of time into my thumbnail, so I appreciate it. Have you guys seen the YouTube thumbnail for this stream? Go have a look at that if you haven't. Yeah, harsh. Fabio, what do you think? I really don't like orange. It's more the sponsors on the front wing on the broadcast, because I'm keeping that in mind when I'm doing my votes as well. Looks like crap. They're also non-existent, so the front wing just looks orange. I also thought I had to set the tone from the start. And we're going to keep this tone going all the way through. The vote, majority said P11 as well. You respect it? Thank you. I respect you for pulling that thing out of your nose. I could never do that. Hell no. I was cringing. Do you feel like a different man? Fabio, he's milking Ferrari to P1 just for you. Are we going P8? Let's do P8. In P8, I've got Racing Bulls. 1 through 11 in chat if you would like to vote. These votes, or these rankings for me this year are crazy. Because V-Carb was my favorite livery last year. And Alpine was my favorite livery the 3 years before that. But I think it's a mixture of a few things. The tweaks that Racing Bulls have done to their car, I don't like as much as last year. However, the other liveries that it's competing against, I think, have just gotten better. This is Omar. I love this part where we all disagree. I thought that this would come sooner, but here we are. This is potentially the 4th vote in a row where we agree. Majority rules. That is insane. Someone's gone P1, others P11. This is just the scope of taste, baby. I feel like I can hear your guys' opinion for this and not get offended and not get upset and agree to disagree. But when it comes to the drivers, I just know you guys are going to dislike it. Make us vote for you. But Wolf, I need to tell you guys what team it is in order for you to vote for it. The thing on the car, ugly, massive airbox. For me, it was the back of the side pod. That was the major change. And I really liked the little bulls from last year, the gradient of the little bulls. And then the bulls died. And so did my love for the livery. They do come up with some banging special liveries, which I'm excited for. I do want to say with all my liveries, though, I don't hate a single livery. I don't want you to think that I put McLaren P11 because I hate it. I dislike it. Maybe let's go up. I don't hate the Audi. I don't hate the Alpine. But they need to go in an order. And it's kind of the same with constructors and drivers. Putting someone P1 and P2 is hard if you think they're going to be separated by 5 or less points. Did you see the new Red Bull can? Yes, I did. That looks fancy. What if, chat, we get to drivers and the top 5 of this year are separated by 10 points? It all of a sudden becomes extremely difficult to rank them, but 1 point makes a difference. Anyone who voted Max P1 last year and Lando P2, even though it was the other way around and you were wrong, that's 2 points. If you voted Lando P1, Max P2 for your predictions and you were right by 2 points. That's not saying that Lando is better than Max. That's not saying Max is better than Lando. That's just saying that's how I think this season is going to play out. And a lot of my rankings this year, and I encourage you guys to do the same, it's trying to predict what happens with the cars. We've gone off topic for liveries, and we'll touch on this in a second, but the development rate at the start of a season for new regulations is insanely fast. Should you be scared for the drivers? Yes. I think the championship won't be close at all if Ferrari are 20 plus seconds ahead of Merc in race runs. I don't think the sandbags have come out for anyone yet, which makes this even harder. I think this might be the first time Aston hasn't been 11 on anyone's rankings. What will happen, what we want to happen, and what will happen are very two different. They're two very different things. I agree. Well said. P8, racing balls. Is that? Oh, let's get rid of this. That's 4 from 4, baby. 4 from 4 polls where you guys agree. That's crazy. 4 from. Are we the exact same, Jaden? What is going on? Next, got to be Williams. Right, thanks, Luke. Make sure you have the popcorn ready for the drivers' predictions. We have to get through constructors and hot takes and bangers and clangers before that. So this stream every year makes me so nervous. You don't think you've agreed with me on a single one yet? Do you see my reasoning though? Because I feel like it would be very hard for us and everyone to have the exact same rankings for every single team. Because it's to do with taste and also how you feel in the moment. I feel like if I started from scratch in a month after seeing them on track and forgetting my actual rankings, they would be different slightly. Why do they have the same livery on the Williams? They don't have the same livery. Good luck. Thank you. I'm going to need it. Everyone have a drink break. Don't yell at me for this next one. Like a toddler. Don't yell at me for this next one. In P7. P7. Hello, Cataronics. Welcome back. P7. We have Williams. I really like the Williams, and I want to emphasize that. I really like the Williams, but I just like everything else more. I do think that Williams as well this year is the Marmite livery of the year. Some people say Barclays ruined it. Other people say, hell yeah, Barclays. I say, hell yeah, Barclays. It's just everyone in front of them, man. It's just better. From this point onwards, actually from Alpine onwards, that's 2 liveries ago. From P9 and above, I don't hate any of them. Most of you guys saying P4, I like that Williams is getting the rep that it's getting. Maybe Carlos Sainz has something to do with that. You never know. You'd put them ahead of Aston, really, but agreed, 4 to 5. 4, 6, 2 out of 5. I should have put an actual ranking, like what I rank the livery out of 10 on the screen. Maybe I'll do that next year. I like the livery. I like the wheel design as well. It's white when it's going fast, and when it's stopped, it's got purple on it. It's cool. I would never want to be a wheel sponsor because the whole race it's moving except for a 2-second ideal pit stop. If you have a slow stop, you get more screen time. That's it. Otherwise, if the wheels are going too fast, bruv. I don't get it. Celsius, Jackpot, Gemini makes sense because there's no riding and you could tell that that's Gemini. The Duracell air intake is one of the best sponsors used by any team for a long time. I agree. I hope it doesn't go anywhere. That is the perfect spot for it. Aston deserved to be P7, making us wait for an eternity. If we were ranking livery reveals, they would be... No, that was probably the most fun one that I had. Maybe it would be towards the top. Yo, what's up, Riley? I think it's easier to vote out of 10 because it's hard to rank them in order when you haven't ranked them beforehand. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Do you guys want to start voting out of 10 rather than ranking the livery? It's only fun because you started scrolling TikTok during it. Yeah. Chain. P6 for you. Let me know. We can change the vote to rate it out of 10 if you'd like. We'll keep it the same. It's vibes with me. We can leave it. I mean, if you guys had a list in front of you, it makes it a lot easier. This is fine. S to D tier list is the easiest way to do it, but we should just keep going with this as we're already halfway through. I agree. I also, yeah. You do have a list in front of you. Who else has a list in front of them? Cool. P4, our first one we disagree on, And I don't hate that you guys have put it as high as you have. Shit, let's hide this. I need to get better at the order that I do things. There we go. P7 Williams. What do we think of the list so far? You have a list? Not lisp. List. Not me. Me. I have a list. Have one in my head. I have your list. You guys got that is so sick. We should get a thread going in Discord so you guys can see each other's. Maybe I'll do that after stream so everyone can post what they want. Do both the ranking and the rating both. If I don't pre-plan my rating, it's going to be all over the gaff. You have a list on your Google Docs. Smart. It's going to be Mercedes and it's going to be wrong. The next one's going to be Mercedes. The Williams needs to be above Aston. P7 is Aston for you. That is fair. We really say McLaren is the worst. Like it's fucking ass, but Audi is horrible. That's the beauty of taste, baby. I mean, Audi's also not far off last place. It's literally second last. Since 2017 season. That is sweet. Cadillac next. Aston. Cadillac P11. Fucking hell. Should we move on to P6? Okay, then Merc, Ferrari, Aston, Red Bull. Right. We'll move on to P6. Let me know where you guys rank this livery. Personally, I really like this livery a lot. And I'm going to say it for every single livery that's coming up. But Ferrari haven't even cracked the top 5. For every single livery that's coming up now, I'm going to say that I like this livery because I do. And these rankings were incredibly tough. Shocked it wasn't Merc. As much as my instant reaction to a lot of liveries are a certain way, I do go away and I look at them. I look at them on track. I separate myself from what I see online and I think for myself. And the gods have told me Ferrari P6. Look at the spread on this vote. 2 votes for P3, 2 votes for P4, 2 votes for P5, 3 votes for P6, 2 votes for P7. Almost every single spot has been voted for. Every single spot except for P1. If you guys want to vote, just type a number in chat. That's all you have to do. 1 through 11. I thought that would be a lot better than having to like click something. You're already using the chat. Gain 3 seconds on the start and never have an engine blow up. You're going to dominate. This is a livery that Hamilton wins, number 8. I think a lot of the people voting it towards the bottom, last is so harsh. A lot of people voting it towards the bottom, or I would say just lower than me. You have an issue with the red, don't you? I like the red. Maybe the dark red would have looked better, but we're not. I'm not comparing this to what would have looked better. I'm comparing it to what I think it looks like, and I enjoy it. I think it's easy on the eye. I think the onboard is so sweet. I think Hamilton looks like a fried egg. I think Leclerc looks sexy in there. I think there's a good amount of white. I think that the HP isn't that out of place. For legal reasons, opinions expressed on stream do not in any way represent Luke Sam's actual opinions. Objection, Your Honor. Yes, they do. Those of you voting it quite low, what's your issue with it? My gripes with it are, I know I just said HP isn't completely out of place, but it also goes the other way. It could have blended in better. Why not use another color? There's always going to be that argument. And the main reason is I like the other ones more. I like red normally, but Ferrari don't utilize their colors well enough. People voting it last are crazy. People just hate it because of HP. Yeah. Luke's opinions are fair, though. Thank you. This looks like the 2023 Vegas special livery, though, and that was really good. My gripes with livery aren't the HP. It's not horrible. I don't hate the white either. I just don't like the red because it gives you cheap vibes. So if this was a darker red, you'd vote it a lot higher or just a little bit higher. For me, I like the Williams more, but that's why it's P7 because not bad. Yeah, fair. I like the Ferrari at least. They didn't put another color like McLaren, added green or an orange. Yeah, and blue. What the hell, man? There we go. Majority Rules has said a 3-way tie, P3, P5, and P6. Ferrari every year splits the room, and you love to see it. If the red wasn't gloss, it'd be a fair bit higher on my rankings, I think. But again, don't know because you haven't seen it darker. Very fair. I like the light red. Reminds you of the 2020 type red. Yeah, we're going back in time a bit. Whoever said P3W, was it you? Here in New Zealand, it's time to sleep because of actual life. Have a great stream. Chat to you all. All right. See you, Max. There'll be a VOD on Twitch if you want to catch up with the rankings. And also, it's going to stay live on YouTube. So you can go back and watch whenever you please. The HP logo matches the wets. Too bad F1 doesn't race in wets, man. Maybe this year we will. We're yet to see. Right, there's the rankings so far. We're officially halfway there. Thanks for subscribing, James. If you guys are new to the YouTube stream, please subscribe. If you're new to Twitch, please follow. Sub if you're filthy rich. You guys are saying Caddy next. Caddy has been the most popular thing that you guys think is coming next. Or are you guys saying you think it's coming next? Or are you saying that this is what you would put next? It is Rorge Gussel's birthday. Happy birthday, Rorge Gussel. First person you've seen not to hate Caddy? Really? Wow. I'm trying to save my opinions for when it comes into the leaderboard because I don't want to spoil anything. Cadillac gets the one spot for you. You know Caddy's first, so I don't think it's going to be next. People love the Monza livery, and it's the same except the red is darker. Yeah, literally. I didn't watch the Bathurst 12 hours. No, Cataronics. F1 just needs to scrap safety at this point. Nah, fuck off. Cadillac's P4, isn't it? I actually like Cadillac. I think it should be next. Should we get on to who's next? Next. The car that swims. It's got gills. Mercedes P5 in my rankings, just above Ferrari. I was a little bit harsh on this at launch, but now that I've let it sit and I've digested it properly, I like it. Horrendous take. Yes, I did see that, Cataronics. Oh, most of you guys are agreeing. There's some strong opinions either way, either side, but most of you guys are saying midfield. Cataronics, thanks for subscribing. No way this is higher than Ferrari. Majority rules is saying that most people agree with me. I think that the Mercedes, I like the colors more. I like how the colors fit the car more than the way that the Ferrari colors fit the car. I think the side of the car is unique. It's like it's AMG, but it's not AMG. What's up, Ferrari box? Where are you guys saying? P5. Fair. What do you guys like more, the Ferrari or the Mercedes? I also, maybe this plays into account, but I really hope it doesn't. I am a Mercedes fan. Merc, Ferrari, Merc, Ferrari. Looks like Adidas shoe, so worse than Ferrari. Merc. The gap between these two in my mind is not much. These two are very closely ranked liveries. After this, we've taken another step up. I think P11 and P10, close. Take a step up. P9 to P5, close. Take a step up. If anyone disagrees with me on the next one taking a step up, that is okay, but I'm standing by it. How people disagreeing with opinions are opinions for a reason. Also, I'm talking about reasonable opinions, not outrageous ones. This is not rage bait. You are not watching rage bait. These are for real. I should have done a prank segment where I rage bait all of you. I like flip the list upside down and just make it up. All right. A lot of you guys are saying P5. Thank you very much. And it looked like in chat as well, there was a split between Mercedes and Ferrari. Maybe Ferrari a little bit more votes in terms of who you guys thought had a nicer livery. Mercedes, for me, best of the rest, because the next four are just, they're too good. They're too far ahead. A rage bait list would send everyone, but I'll be so for real about it. Red Bull last and Audi first would have been top tier age page. Putting Red Bull last and saying it's the same every year. It's extra funny this year because it's not. Mercedes are the same except the gills. If you look at the side, you can see it properly and the race directors won't show it properly. Ferrari 1-2 FP 1-2 quali 1-2 race. Let's go. Haas is P1, no doubt. Loses race seat. Who's losing race seat? Let's get the rankings up. There it is. P5. If you guys are just tuning in, here are my livery rankings so far. We have lots to get through today. As I was saying before, P11, P10, I would say are close, and then you get to P9 Alpine, you take the next step up. These next group of cars, the next 5, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Williams, Ferrari, Mercedes, they're clustered together quite closely. The next 4, I was almost rating against themselves. These 5 rating against themselves. The bottom 2 rating against each other. Ferrari of Mercedes. Come on, that Microsoft logo is unbelievably ugly. Kind of ironic if you're talking about a logo with ugly placement. I personally think that the Microsoft was very pretty. HP, not as good as the Microsoft sponsorship. Aston is next. Aston is next. P4 is Caddy. Think you're pretty. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ah, shit. Here we go again. HP sauce. Is that brown sauce? I don't think I've ever tried that. I got asked if I want it on my McMuffin the other day, and I said no, because I haven't tried it yet. Valid Cataronics. It's a shame that it's 12 years too late. All right, we're rating the next livery. We're up to P4. This is the spot below the podium. These next 4, I'll say again, are very close to each other, and I love very much almost equally. So these next 4 was extremely hard for me to put my vote towards. It gets to a point with these top 4 that I'm picking on minor details in order to separate them. I need to try Vegemite. I've tried Vegemite and I love it. I used to have it for breakfast all the time. McMuffin, goated breakfast. Right, P4, spot below the podium. I'll tell you why it's P4, because when I was looking at everything as a whole and not as individual cars, I thought this car would rank a lot higher. Haas, I've put P4. I love this livery. You guys, if you were in stream, you will know how much I love this livery. Everything is so nice. However, the thing that knocks it down for me is not having gloss. This is how picky I've had to be for the top 4. Below Aston, that's P1 or P111. 3, 1, 1. Only white car you like is a Haas. I've had to be so picky with these top 4 that the only reason I've put it here is because it's not glossy. If this car was gloss, we are talking a different story. We do not have Haas in P4 if they decide to make it gloss. However, they haven't gone with gloss. And as much as I would love it, we are currently living in the land of what ifs. Haas once again robbed of podium. Bring flashbacks to Mexico. Thanks for subscribing, Why? I hate Ferrari and it has gloss. Yes, correct. Half the Audi is glossy as well. I'm pretty sure the Alpine is glossy, but a livery for me isn't gloss P1 because then half the grid would share it. For me to take this livery to the next level, it should be gloss. Does that make sense? I'm not obsessed with gloss, and it's proof that I enjoy a matte livery. There are just 3 more teams that I enjoy more than this one. By the way, for the last 4 years, no one's agreed with my P1. I just want to put that out there while you guys are still listening and the steam coming through your ears is not blocking your hearing. No one's agreed with me for 4 years, and I don't expect that to start this year. Maybe it will. I'm not sure. Tyro, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry, Haas. I've robbed you of another podium. The vote isn't equal between P1 and P3. Aston Martin Haas is crazy. No way I like Aston top 3. It looks that way, doesn't it? Let's think about what teams are left, chat. Start listing some teams that are left. We've got 3 more. McLaren P11, Audi P10, Alpine P9, Racing Bulls P8, Williams P7, Ferrari P6, Mercedes P5, Haas P4. We've got Cadillac, Aston, Red Bull. You're worried I put Caddy P1? Aston going slow in style? Red Bull next, knowing you? Next Caddy it has to be. By the way, Red Bull has to be P4, not Haas. Caddy, Red Bull, Aston. If Red Bull is next, you've successfully rage baited me. One half of Caddy was good, the other half was total shit. Caddy P1, Red Bull, Aston, then Caddy. I really wish that the Haas was glossy. But to be fair, it would have made my decision a whole lot harder. These top 3 all had P1 at some stage, because I make a list and I go through it, and then I look away, I go do something else, I come back and I look through it. I look at every car, different angles, on their actual car, on their show car, on the renders, on track. I go away, I come back, I do it all over again just to make sure I'm happy with these rankings. And I am. With that said, oh dear, P3 is Red Bull. I think, as much as I love the Red Bull livery, it was overhyped, man. It looked so good during that launch. It looked incredible under those lights. All that blue, the texture. It's something a little bit different to what they've always used. I love that livery. But then when I saw it on track, it gave me a tiny, tiny, tiny sense of underwhelmment. You don't like the blue? I personally really love it. And I just want to reinforce, just because I've put this P3, I'm not calling it bad. I told you the top 4. I'm splitting hairs in order to try and put these in an order. If I could put them in a straight horizontal line, I would. But it's not that easy. I need to number them 1 through 11. Nowhere Aston P1. I'm sorry, Aston's P7 for you. Did you see it in Bahrain in the night? I did. I did take that into account. Cadillac, Aston P1 and 2. Your top 2 are not in your top 6. This is the perfect thing about taste. And when it comes to liveries, I'm so happy to disagree with you guys, because everyone's got different taste. If everyone had the exact same P1 through P11, life would be boring. When it comes to constructors, when it comes to drivers, that's when we might beef, because that's opinion-based. And there were a bunch of different drivers. The top 5 for my drivers were in 100 different orders. I don't think that's possible. What's 5 factorial, chat? Your top 2 are below your P5 for me? Holy. Cadillac is P9 for you? Nowhere near. Holy. All right, majority is saying that Red Bull is your favorite. And that makes sense why you guys were like, dude, what the fuck? Because it's your favorite. How is it P3? It's my favorite. I'm just mad Red Bull don't sponsor me? Nah. I've done some work with Red Bull. They're cool. I personally wouldn't want to get signed by a team. I like doing it myself. I like not being tied down. Cadillac was a 5 out of 10. 5 for one side, 0 for the other. Would that not make it 2.5? What about a 10 for one side and 0 for the other? Cap? I don't know, Fabio. No, true. Money does talk. If a team paid me enough, then yes. I've heard some figures from some people. You can tie me down. I can be bought. It also gives you the freedom to be a content creator. It's like, we'll pay you to do what you want to do. Your favorite is whatever livery Red Bull is going to have for the USGP this year with the Ford partnership now. I don't like matte livery, but I only like the Haas. That's fair. The Haas was the... Actually, I can't... I'm not... That was about to spoil. That was close. For me, I don't like livery. When you see the livery from a side, the tyres should just blend in with the livery. I mean, black tyre cover and the nose black around the tyres is so much worse, if you know what I mean. Am I young? I looked at YKWIM and I knew that said, you know what I mean. People voting P1 are glazing too much. I agree. I agree somewhat. I understand the argument for Red Bull P1 because it is a hot livery. I don't want you thinking I put it P3 and it's like it's ugly. It's not ugly. Right, that is sorted. We're on to the top two, and there's only two teams left. We've got Cadillac and Aston Martin. Practically unk. I literally know people older than me. If we're rating graphics as well, this is the worst one. Why you didn't like it? Maybe I agree. We should have two different polls. Rate the livery and rate the graphic. How is Williams that low? Williams is that low because everything else I enjoy more. All the way down to P9, they're not bad liveries. I think P10 and P11 are bad liveries. P9 up, tough. Probably P9 to P5 was tough to split in P5 to P9 order. The top four, the same amount of impossible. So if Aston's first, you're crashing out. Caddy has to be P2 for Luke. Come on. You're saying Alpine is good livery? Yes. Yes, Alpine is a good livery. Alpine was my favorite in 22, 23, 24. Last year it was Racing Bulls. Just see them in P8 and P9 is just strange. But everyone's got different tastes, chat. You're guessing Cadillac P1 then? I'm agreeing with you. P7 for Williams. Aston second. We know you love Caddy. I'm going to crash out if Aston's P1. I don't know. You guys didn't seem to like that Red Bull was P3, but I feel like we got over that hurdle very quickly. I feel like the instant shock reaction of, what the fuck, man? It goes when I explain myself. If I just uploaded the end graphic to Twitter, I feel like I'd cop some heat, though. Where did people rank Racing Bulls last year? For me, P1. Alpine P2, it's pink. So I think I understand your reasons. I just want to disagree with you. That is so fair. Feel free to disagree with me. All right, P2. You guys, because there's only two liveries left, you guys will obviously know who's in P1 after this. But we are going to talk about P2 before we talk about P1. Got it? Don't be like, this team's in P2, which means this is P1. I'm complaining because of this. Make sense? P2 goes to your boys with the longest drawn-out livery reveal of the year with a bunch of technical issues. And I sympathize with that. Sorry, I keep forgetting to start the poll. There we go. Vote. I sympathize with those technical issues. Get your votes in. All you have to do is put a number 1 to number 11 in chat on where you think it goes. Aston Martin, P2. There's a massive, massive, massive reason for this. If you guys were here for the launch or you saw my initial reactions on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, wherever you might have seen it, you'll know that my instant reaction to this livery was, oh, I'm not sure about this. This is, it's just not good enough for me. However, I knew deep down that this livery was built not for the show car, but for their actual car. And then when we saw it on track for the first time in the broadcast in Bahrain on Wednesday, you saw my reaction if you see my shorts. My reaction was so like, holy shit, that I actually made a short about it. And I made a point to be like, everyone, stop what you're doing and look. This car was built for the actual car, not the show car. Excuse me. And if that's what we're going to be seeing on track, that's what I'm voting for. Yeah, sure. I uploaded it and all the comments were like, it's slow. It's going to look good from the back. It's going to look good 5 seconds slower a lap. But we're not ranking speed. We're ranking looks. And this shit took me by surprise. That was the most raw reaction I've given all year when we saw that thing for the first time. On track, the car is great, but -5 places for performance. The blue on the wing and the lime do it for you. For me, the shape of the side pod with a Ramco going down it, so good. Everything I've liked so far this year, the whole car has talked to each other, okay? Front to back, back to front, back to front, front to back. Everything has talked to each other, and I think Aston Martin do that maybe the best. I know I've put it P2, but I think that Aston Martin might talk the whole car with each other the best. The Aramco down the side pod, the lime going from the front wing down the side of the car to the side pod. There's lime on top as well with the patterns. The Aramco on the rear wing, the lime on the intake. So nice. What suits Ferrari and the medium suits Martin, yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people said it was a downgrade from 23-24, but the problem I have is I don't like how it looks close up. It looks much better from a distance. That's a good point that you make. How much longer do we think Lance will be on the grid? Until he gets bored. I would plan a contingency plan for when Lando Norris in Australia as a certain someone will have a colossal crash out. My plan is to get the camera out. I don't like the matte green, but you like the blue wing. I don't like it because there's random black patches in some areas. I think every car's got random black patches, no? Hello, honey. Who did I pick to win this season? We're not quite there yet. We've got liveries. We've got hot takes. We've got constructors, bangers and clangers, and then drivers. Most of you guys have said P7. Holy disagreements. That does only leave one team. Again, I've got reasons for everything, so just hang in there, all right? Let me know where you guys put it, and I'll give you my reasoning. Hello, Alexa. Can't believe your P1 is your P10. What are we saying? Lots of 2s, 3s, 5s. I'm assuming the 2s are because Red Bull's P1. We've got someone that agrees with me. Let's go. Who was that? Scarlett? Big up, Scarlett. 10, 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 4, 4. Okay. Holy spread. This is like the Ferrari. Almost every single place has a vote. It's only leapfrog Ferrari since you saw it on track. It looks slightly better on track. Fair. Fair. My reasoning for this is simple. A, the whole car talks to each other. It might not be the best and Aston might do it better, but that doesn't mean that Cadillac aren't doing it. I personally really like how the car talks from each side, which is unique because one side is one color, the other side is another color, and they've still made it work. Ben Holler, thank you for the follow. It's asymmetric. I feel you feel you're gonna agree with Luke with his drivers? Let's go. This car, I agree, Cameron. To put it into words, it made me feel something at the launch. It was so unique watching one side and then the other and thinking, hang on, they're different. The main thing with me is the front wing where it like up towards the halo where it separates and the livery kind of wraps itself around the car. Like the livery is giving the Cadillac a giant hug and I wish I could as well. For a team that has done so good online, the hype for this team is amazing. Let's get Valtteri, let's get Perez, let's get rockin' and rollin'. They have absolutely smashed the livery. This is a team that is not confused by their identity. A lot of people said it was crap because it wasn't the render that everyone saw online from some guy who makes renders. I like this better than the render that guy showed. Imagine this is in the S's of Suzuka Coda, the twists of Jedi, the camera cut, black side, white side, front. It's just gone past us. We get to see the rear. This team is not confused by its identity. This team knows exactly who they are. Will they do well? We don't know yet. We're going to see when we get to the constructors' rankings. Low key, the chrome looked. Oh yeah, the chrome. I've forgotten about the chrome. The back of the car with the Cadillac logo thingy. So good. Yes. And I really hope that this encourages other teams to try something new. I hope that other teams look at this and be like, you know what? It can be done. I've seen Cadillac do this. Why don't we try something that's a little bit out there, a little bit different? Everyone was talking about it. Look how nice the sponsors look. Ferrari had in their HP meeting go up to HP and be like, look, all their sponsors are the same color except for Tommy because it works. Oh, the chrome's not actually that cool. That doesn't knock it down for me. This car is a definition of a W. Let me show you guys all my rankings. That is my everything, baby. I'm gonna put another poll on chat on screen. What is this song? Do you guys agree? Yes or no? Do you guys agree with my rankings? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Random question I got. What's the most saddest song according to you? 7 Years by that guy, I reckon. It's gone up to P5 after you just sold that to me. Thank you, Kai. I hope if any of my opinions have changed your mind, that is the greatest compliment ever. Refreshing ranks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. When I rank them, I don't look at anything else. I don't look at anyone else. I just look at the car and I compare them with each other. For you, it's Yellow by Coldplay. Good shout. Can you vote in between? I should have done a vote for in between. My bad. That would have been a shout. All right, what do we got next? Let me take everything away so my PC isn't overloaded. And next, we have... We could be broke. Oh, we have hot takes next. What were my hot takes last year? I'm going to quickly get them up to give you guys a bit of a look into my brain. Actually, one last year was spot on, now that I'm trying to remember them. One last year was spot on. Also, the graphics, massive upgrade. I had Lewis Hamilton to outqualify Charles Leclerc no more than five times, so 19-5 in quali, and that was the exact score. Hot take number 2, Antonelli to break Max Verstappen's record as the youngest driver to win a Grand Prix. That didn't happen, but these are hot takes. These aren't meant to come true. Liam Lawson to be within 150 points of Max Verstappen at the end of the season. They were my 3 hot takes last year. Do I agree with you? No. Do I like your thinking? Yes. Thank you, Lewis. What part of you do you think people misunderstood the most? I think I do a very good job at portraying myself, so I don't even think I'm misunderstood. The reason I think that the only reason why is I think the Red Bull needs to be above the Aston. Fair. That's a fair call to make. Between the top 4, the next 5, and the bottom 2, if you guys swap them in any order, I might even agree with you. But in saying that, I stand by everything I've said. Are you guys ready for some hot takes? We're gonna keep for this one. We're gonna keep. Do you agree? Yes or no? All right. Where there's gonna be no fence sitters here. You got it, Falcon. No fence sitters. 3 hot takes. I don't want you guys to think, well, actually, you probably will think, but if you guys look at it and go, this is never going to happen, then my hot take has ticked the box as being a hot take. Again, the first one might be the spiciest. Looking at the cars side by side, they look so close to the 2021 cars, just slightly lower. One thing we do know, Max isn't going to Aston Martin for the time being. Nope. What if you like sitting on the fence? Too bad. The fence gives you splinters, chat. All right, hot take number 1. I'm going to hype myself up for this. You've got this. Get up and stretch if you haven't as well. This is like a good excuse for a stretch break. It's been an hour 20. Just get up, do some stretches. Don't look at my pajama pants. Hot takes. I thought about these for a long time. The first one is spicy. Some of you guys will think, I was thinking this. Other people will think, I hope not. Other people will think, hell yeah. And before I even show you, I want to tell you that my reasoning, my thinking behind it is hell yeah. Okay? Now that we've got that sorted, do I like Star Wars? Yes, Jaden. In fact, I'm born on Star Wars Day. May the 4th. I'm a May the 4th, baby. Right, hot take number 1. If this one comes true, I'm going to be happy. Daniel, thank you for the super chat. Hello from London. However, in 2 days, hello from Australia. I fly in 2 days. I'm so excited. First one is spicy. We're going straight in. I like to set the tone. What's up, Jet? I like to set the tone straight away. Let's get in there. Let's get rocking. Let's get those brains thinking. Are we going to watch the Melbourne GP? Yep, that's the plan, SpongeBob. That is the plan. If this happens, I know a lot of you at face value are going to be like, dude, you can't say that you want this, but I do. I do. Okay? My hot take is Christian Horner to re-enter the paddock in 2026 as a team principal. Do you agree? Yes or no? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Josh, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 2 gifted. Can we get some does in chat for Josh, please? Absolute hero. A lot of you guys, oh my God, it's split. A vote 1 for yes, 2 for no. 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 All you have to do is type in Twitch chat. 2, but only because I don't think it'll be this year. You think it'll be next year. That is a valid reason. I think this guy is squirming. We're going to bring this one. It's blocking, so we're going to bring it over here. I think this guy's squirming to get back into the paddock, all right? I think he's squirming to be a team principal, and if he gets a glimpse, an ounce of this team might actually be something, he's signing that contract, big boy. I'm thinking if this isn't in the hot take, but I'm thinking if there is a team, it's Alpine. Flavio can't do it forever. He's going to want to hand someone off. And we know that Flavio has no boundaries. Even though Christian Horner was banished from Red Bull and the paddock in the manner that he was for the stuff that he allegedly did. This is not me saying he did it or didn't do it. I'm just explaining the news. For the way he was banished from the paddock and the manner that he did for doing what he did, Flavio will have no ifs, ands, or buts about bringing him on as team principal. If you can get us some points, if you can build us a faster car, you're on board. See Horner and Alpine with my favorite driver? No, I don't like. Personally, I know he gets a bad rep, and I'm not looking at him as the person that he is. I'm looking at him as a person that can do things. Horner gets things done. Whether you like it or not, whether he's nice or bad, whether he's getting coal or presents for Christmas, he does things and gets it done. He sees it through. Of course, we can take a toilet break, Em. Sure. He is Mr. Make shit happen. He is Mr. The puck stops with me. If I don't like something, I'm saying something. If I think something is better or worse, I'm saying it. If I need to bring up a driver to drop them early doors, I'm going to do it. Give Pierre a crack, no good. Bye. Give Alex a crack, no good. Bye. Give Perez a crack. He was all right. He's no good now. Bye. Give Liam Lawson a crack. Psych. Bring Yuki up. And then it's out of his hands. Your hot take is he will join Aston Martin and take over the team principal role from Adrian Newey. I don't want to give too much away with my constructors, and I don't even think this is, but if Alpine are strong this year or even show a glimpse of being strong, he's coming back in the paddock. And Drive to Survive is going to love it. And they'll be communicating through Kik, not WhatsApp. Google Drive banned. Let's use WeTransfer. Fun fact, if Horner goes to Alpine, they're powered by Mercedes, so he'll have to deal with Toto again. Yep. He'll be back in the paddock, but not as team principal. I've tried to be specific. What role do you think he would come back in as, SpongeBob? I don't think he would come back in as anything other than top dog. I'm not saying he won't be a fair shot at Alpine, but he can be a good team principal, but my heart couldn't take another 2019. Imagine Horner, who was battling with Renault and Cyril for all of those years, announcing breaking news on F1's Instagram, Horner appointed as team principal for Alpine for the 2026 season. Could you imagine the scenes after fighting Renault and Cyril for so long? Bro's coming back. Like Zach said, he's like that bad guy in the horror movie that just doesn't go away. I think this is a spicy take. 11 of you guys said no. 9 of you said yes. If you guys are confused how to vote, as soon as the poll comes up, type 1 or 2 in chat, okay? Might be as ambassador, true. My glasses double rimmed. I don't know. It's a clear thing. Hang on, I can't show my face. It's a clear thing around a wire. I hope that helps. He always comes back. He's like a bad smell. Are we ready for the next one? Hot take number 2. This one you guys might think is a little bit boring, but I think maybe this is the least spicy. I think number 3 is the hottest take. Number 1's the most controversial. Number 2, I've tried to be real. Number 3, I think, is the spiciest that might get the best reaction out of you guys. Do you wear glasses for the fashion or are they prescription? They are prescription. It's sometimes I can't read chat, and I've just changed how everything looks, so this helps me focus on words. If one does come back, DTS needs to show all of the unedited, unfiltered BTS talks with Toto Wolff. I agree. Second hot take is Ferrari will sack Fred Vasseur and Christian Horner will join Ferrari. Hot take number 2 is that in the first 3 dry qualifying sessions, the gap between P1 and P22 in Q3 will be more than 5 seconds. I know what you're thinking. P22 isn't in Q3, and that is correct. That's why I've said dry. You got a little bit of track improvement, but not as much as in the wet if it starts to dry up. I've tried to make it an even playing field. I think this is the most tame hot take, but 5 seconds is a long time. That means that whoever is starting last, the lap time that they set in Q1 is going to be more than 5 seconds slower than whoever gets pole. My reasoning for this is that at the start of the regulations, there's always teams that get it right. There's always teams that get it wrong. And I think if this is your first time watching a new regulation change, it might be a bit of a shock to the senses that why is this team so slow? But the upside of this is the first year, I would even argue the first 2 years of a new regulation, the development is so fast. If we're watching Mercedes, for example, be quickest out the gates or Ferrari be quickest out the gates, there's a real possibility that a team like Alpine, if they've nailed something, can shoot through the ranks. If let's say Aston Martin. If Aston Martin is dead last, come end of season, they could be a proper best of the rest. That's how fast these things change. Because the more laps you do, the more data you get, and the more that you can implement, and the smartest brains will be able to implement the right things faster. So who'll be 5 seconds behind? Who's going to be 5 seconds ahead? I guess we'll see in the constructors. That is a good point you make. Data. It's one of the best hot takes you've ever read. Nice. How do I even think of these? I think way too much about this shit. A lot of you guys are agreeing. I think that proves it's not too hot, but it is a little bit... I think 5 seconds is a lot of time. This originally was 4 seconds, but it didn't feel spicy enough for me. I also like to have every year have one hot take that is almost immediate and we see very soon. Last year, it was Kimi to win basically one of the first 2 races, and we could tick that or cross that very early. This one, we're going to have ticked or crossed after Japan. It could even be after Australia. You agree with everything so far? We've prayed for times like this. We're going to round things out with the third one. However, we are just going to resurface her a little bit because this next one you guys might not agree with. And that's okay. That's okay. This outlet released today that Aston Martin drivers might be disqualified in Melbourne if they break 107% rule. Yeah. Let's these are very tame. No, are they tame? I think the first one, the first one is the most shock factor. This last one is the spiciest. To recenter the first one, Christian Horner ran to the paddock as a team principal. I didn't put the team in there, but if I had to take a guess, it'd be Alpine. Yes, I'm stalling. In the first 3 drive qualifying sessions, the gap between P1 and P22 in Q3 will be more than 5 seconds. The reason I put Q3 in there is I don't want you to think that because P22 is mentioned, it's at the end of Q1. This is at the end of Q3. W Graphics, thank you very much. Thank you. That's the biggest compliment you give me. You think McLaren in 23 is the best example of how quickly development influence where a team stands throughout the year. I agree. 100%. Rapid. But also, there's a flip side to it. You can go backwards. A development is made in an F1 car every 18 minutes. There's your fun fact of the day. To make a part, close to like 70 hours, 20 of which is just sanding. Okay. How do I open this next one? If you're a fan of this guy, same. Let me just say that first. If you're a fan of this person, same. However, I think this is going to rustle the most feathers because I've seen the most about it online, and it's something that I harshly disagree with. Harshly, yes. I'm choosing my words. I disagree. I have had some brilliant minds of content creators say this to me with a straight face. Well, the opposite of what I'm about to say. And I disagree. And I looked at them in disbelief. My third hot take is that Antonelli will be outscored by Russell by more than 75 points. I just want to let that sink in. Think about it before you vote. Antonelli will be outscored by Russell by more than 75 points. My heart rate has just gone up. I wonder what it's sitting at. Where's my heart? By the time it registers, it's going to have gone back down. Please don't yell at me. Most of you guys are saying yes. 75 points is a lot of points. However, for example, a couple of bad races last year, we saw, this is over the course of like 3, maybe 4 races, we saw the championship leaders gap go from 50 to 0. That was over like 3 bad races. I'm talking 75 points in what we think is going to be a fast car over 24 races. Russell won 2 races last year. I think Russell's in his prime. Antonelli, that European leg just sticks with me. Russell got even better than his potential. Russell was 169 points ahead last season of a rookie despite having the worst European luck ever. That's what makes this a hot take. That you're right, George. George is super consistent. And I know we've only seen a season from Kimi, and I do think he has championship potential. I think expecting him to get close to George this year or beating George, you want that dopamine hit too quick is what I'm trying to say. We want Antonelli to be so good too fast. Antonelli's the future of Merc, so I think he's going to be very close to Russell, even though it's his second season. A lot of people agreeing. Okay. Okay, maybe it's not as spicy as I thought. I did think anything over 75, you're reaching, what's the word? Unrealistic. It's going to be unrealistic. Anything over 75. 50, 40, 30, more realistic, less spicy. And these are hot takes for a reason. You don't think he'll be outscored? You think that Antonelli's going to win? Excuse me. There's a few of you that have said no, which is fine. I want to know, are you saying no because it'll be less than 75 points? Or are you saying no because Antonelli is going to beat Russell? You agree with all of them? Hot takes are Kimi to finish top 4 in the title fight, Fred Vasseur to leave Ferrari before Coda, and every team to feature a special livery across the season. Nice. Kimi would bottle due to pressure of having a fast car. He is at the best place with learning and adapting to Formula One. You agree with everything? Okay. George only had like 2 bad races. Monaco car died in quali and can't overtake. Can't remember anyone else. George is Mr. Consistent. I think we're forgetting does nothing P3. And now if the rumors are true and they have the fastest car, does nothing P1. I think Antonelli's going to have to do it a bit more than does nothing P1. Here are my hot takes. Take a bathroom break if you want now. We're going to continue with what's next. Constructors. Next is constructors. That's what we're going to be doing next. Does nothing WDC. I say no because it'll be less than 75 points. Russell won't be behind him, but he won't be too much better. Okay. Toilet break time. You guys got a couple of minutes. We're going to do constructors next. We're going to be starting at P11 and we're going to be going all the way up to P1. Not right now, Cataronics, but thank you. Christian Horner to re-enter the paddock in 2026 as the team principal. In the first 3 drive qualifying sessions, the gap between P1 and P22 in Q3 will be more than 5 seconds, and Johnny will be outscored by Russell by more than 75 points. I'm standing by them, chat. I've reevaluated, and I stand by them. You're scared for constructors? Me too, a little bit. Constructors, I think, is a little bit easier to start with than liveries, because liveries is just straight up opinion. At least maybe towards the back we've got some proof that some people aren't going to do well. Now that I'm looking at, I would no, I'm not swapping them. There's two I'm thinking of swapping, and I think this just speaks to how, especially some teams, they're going to be so close. And you've seen what a couple good races can do. You gave your reasons and you stand by them. I gave my reasons and I stand by them. Williams v Ferrari Part 2 is your hot take this year. One take is that I think that Lando may not do well this year and Oscar may do better. I think that Williams are in the middle grey area where they'll start off meh and then hopefully improve because of how long they've been working on this car. Who is Horner going to be team principal of? Alpine. They might have a good car. That was my reasoning, Olivia. I was kind of like, my hot take is Christian rejoining the paddock as a team principal this year, which is great. I didn't want to put a team in there just in case, but if I had to pick someone, it would be Alpine. No hot takes on Oscar this year. Maybe when you guys see the rankings, there might be a hot take in there. We'll see. But these ones are more specific hot takes than just where we rate rate people. That's what I thought, Nixie. But a lot of people, more people than I thought, have said that Antonelli's going to beat Russell. I've had actual content creators tell me that and giggle when I say that Russell's going to beat him. And based off of chat, a lot of people were disagreeing with me. I was like, Lando Dino for every race this year. Hot take, Madrid circuit will be the worst track, even worse than Monaco. Do you think Bottas will look good this year? Like looks-wise with my eyes? Yeah, he always looks good. Shall we get ready? Constructors. We're going to start at P11 and we're going to go up, okay? Cool. All right, bathroom break is over. Alpine is going to get a win this year. Wow. You're not ready? I don't think I am either. My hope with Madrid is this circuit was built with modern cars in mind. Please let modern cars be able to race there. Okay, let's start. With constructors, you guys might be a bit shocked, but I want you to remember this is a long season with after a regulation change. And basically what I've just spoken on, the rate that these cars improve is phenomenal. And as you want to see, is Oscar going to win WTC this year? You'll have my honesty. In about an hour, I think we'll have done everything. Maybe an hour and a half. Whoever said Alpine get to win, if it's Gasly, I agree with you. Totally not biased. I think we get a Brazil 24, but Alpine have a better car, so they win instead of podium. Cadillac surely last. Aston P11, you're guessing. Let me know if you guys agree. If you want to vote for the poll, we have 11 numbers. All you have to do is put the number of... wait, this is... Yeah, sorry. Cool. P1 through P11. If you think someone's going to be P11, you say 11. If you think someone's going to be 1, you put 1. Just like this. If you think someone's going to be P1, P5, P9, P11, that's what you do. Okay? You've returned. Welcome back. Just in time. If Merck's car is miles clear, the other teams, they win the constructors. If first and second are close, I think McLaren wins. Right. We're starting off the back. P11, Caddy. I'm so hyped for this team. You guys saw it was my favorite livery. However, it is so hard for a new team to jump in and start winning. I think that they've got potentially one of the most... Oh, we're going to move that graphic. One of the most equal teammates. But it can't be understated how hard it is for a team to join Formula One and adapt, especially in these new regulations. They're not cars that either of these drivers have driven, so they don't get a benefit out of... We've driven these cars before. They're completely different. I genuinely hope they do better. But I can't put another team below them. That's my reasoning for Cadillac. And it seems like a lot of you guys agree, either P10 and P11. And there's a couple of teams that I have in mind. I don't want to talk on it just because I'm afraid I'll give it away. But I'm assuming in my head the teams that you guys might think might be last. Maybe we're tossing up between two. And I see your reasoning for it. Again, these are new regulations and a new team, so it's so hard to place them full stop. Audi P11 for you. I mean, I can see that happening. Highest I can see of finishing is P9. But if a team falls off, P10 at best. Yeah. 10, you've hired the best 2 available drivers for the task. Having seasoned vets is huge for car feedback and data collection. I completely agree, Scarlett, which is why I think they will eventually be midfield. I think that these 2 drivers have been put into place to hit the ground running, get feedback straight away. This is what the car should feel like. I want more front end, less front end, etc. These drivers, this feels so harsh to say. These drivers, I wouldn't sign to a team if we had a championship winning car. Not at this stage anyway. Perez when he went to Red Bull, yes. Perez when he went to Mercedes, yes. Now, I want that feedback, baby. And then eventually when we are top of the midfield, when we are where, kind of like where Ferrari are, where Red Bull are, even Williams last year, that's when you kind of get the capacity to put in a bid to get these better drivers. Like Sainz went to Williams, like Lewis went to Ferrari. Did I say Perez went to Mercedes? Sorry, Perez to Red Bull, Bottas to Mercedes. Bye, enjoy your exams, Cataronics. PU-wise, I think Cadillac do 9th because of that. Especially with the experience that these 2 have, the feedback that they've given, it makes sense for them to get the drivers. I agree. And who knows, Mr. Q3 in Bottas, he could be turning back the time. He could get these guys, he could not have a single Q1 exit this year. Maybe that would have been a sick hot take. Bottas to not be knocked out in Q1 for the whole season. That is a spicy take. But it's not one of mine. But who knows? We could see that side of him come back. Finish poll. You guys have said P10, and I don't hate you for that. I'm not going to hold that against you. Here's P11, baby. Let's move on to P10. I think if they were competitive, they would have hired an F2 champion from last year. Forget his name. I think they would have. Used to think they would have looked at doing. Yeah, these two drivers, perfect for car feedback. True, Falcon. Bottas only went to Merck because Rosberg retired. Another team could have picked him up. Yeah. But I think it was a good time for him to go, and I think he did the job that they wanted him to do. Maybe that rings true with Bottas, that like I wouldn't hire him for a world championship team. Bottas, no. Perez, I'd think about it, because I do think Perez wins that team battle as well. All right, let's look at P10. P10, we've gone with Audi. What do you guys think? Vote P1 to P11 in chat. I've gone Audi, P10. Some of you guys are going to be a little bit confused. Williams didn't even come to preseason testing or the shakedown. Aston's car seems to be overheating when you turn it on. But Audi have had their fair of struggles early doors as well. I think maybe there's an argument for P9, which is where majority of you are going. But I think over the span of a whole season, Audi finished P10. Just because there's more experienced teams out there. They've got the backing of Sauber and Stake behind them. And also, we've just spoken about Cadillac and how these two drivers are very evenly matched and how they're going to be really good at giving car feedback. Audi, I think, out of all the teams... No, not out of all the teams. Their driver lineup isn't as amazing. Hulkenberg, amazing driver. Bortoletto, I think potential future champ. But when comparing to the teams that they need to beat to go up, the star power isn't quite there. No worries, simply an F1 fan. Who was shining? Not Audi, Rewind. Definitely not Audi. If I had head-to-head graphics, I would. Genuinely. Maybe we'll save that for next year. I would do another stream for it, but I head to Oz tomorrow. This is why we're doing this today. I usually, for stuff like this, I wait until after the season is finished. But I don't have that luxury this year because I'm going to be out of the country for the 3 weeks leading up to the Oz GP. What are we saying? We're saying P9. All right. I respect it. I think if you're putting them 11th, 10th, or 9th, I respect. Very happy. Very, very happy. Pollen's done his rankings as well. I like to wait until after all the testing is done. But then again, testing, I'm more looking at reliability than speed. I'm looking at how often you're doing similar lap times and how many laps your engine is doing, especially in these new regs. Yeah, he looks like he's wearing a trash bag, doesn't he? How did Cadillac do? They didn't blow anyone's socks off, and Mercedes more or less is looking powerful, yeah. I think I am going to be jet lagged, and I'm going to see my family almost straight away. All right, here's P11 and P10. I think if anyone is shocked by that, I'm shocked that you're shocked. Because I think this is relatively standard. Audi's race suits are shocking. Shocking. Cool. P11 and P10. Shall we move on to P9? I think P9 is a little bit harsher than I would like to be. Let's put it that way. You guys can have a think. V-carb, Audi below Cadillac. Testing engines aren't put to full throttle. I agree. But I think next week they're going to be, or the next testing, they're going to be putting them more on the edge, trying to find that limit. Okay, Jaden. This team I'm putting in P9 is a little bit harsher than I think I'm harsher on them than I would like to be, but I've put V-carb as P9. My reasons for this are Liam's a great driver. Arvid, from what I've seen in F2, is an okay driver. And more of the reason I'm putting them in P9 is not to do with the car. It's more to do with the lineup. I'd love to see Lawson get another crack at Red Bull, and I can't wait to see Arvid prove himself. But the rookie woos that happen to every single rookie, we saw Hadjar. How good is Hadjar? He spun on the formation lap in the first race. These rookies need to get up to grid. Get up to the what am I trying to say? They need to get up to the speed of the grid. And I think he will have a few shocking races, but every rookie does. That doesn't mean he's a good driver. Doesn't mean he's a bad driver. Lawson has the experience, but he's not as great as the other teams. I think Liam is an okay driver. I'm not going to say that he's the most amazing driver in the world because I feel like that would be a lie. But I'm also not going to say he's a stinker. I think he belongs in the sport. And with both of these guys, for two different reasons, I can't wait for them to try and prove themselves this year. Arvid to prove that he belongs. Liam to prove that he deserves another crack at Red Bull, because I don't think he was given long enough. I really like these guys. But when you look at the other lineups on the grid, you look at basically any other team above them, even below them. I might even say it. I think this might be the weakest teammate pairing on the grid. Do you guys agree with that, or is that too harsh? Arvid isn't F1 ready, in my opinion. Yuki should have been in his spot. I kind of ask, why should Yuki go in his spot? Is Yuki in his spot just to let Arvid get better, or to promote to Red Bull? Because we've already tried that. I think if you're going to put him back down to V-Carb, as much as we love Yuki, he's taking up a spot. If Arvid has been given a license to go and go make mistakes, go find out where the car is good and where you're good and where the car is bad and where you're bad, kind of like the license that I would have given Kimi last year, they've made the absolute correct decision. If they've put him in that car to prove himself in 5 races or you're out, they've gone about it the wrong way. It's almost like when you constantly change team principles. Just have someone there to learn and get the culture, do everything, be around everything. You guys are agreeing? Okay, good. And he's the best F1 driver on the grid from New Zealand. See, that's a hot take I can get around. Liam Lawson situations like Pierre Gasly again. Yeah, what does he do? Does he live there until he finally gets an out? Or are they prepping him for Red Bull? Because eventually Max is going to leave. And they're going to have 2 other drivers other than Max Verstappen in that Red Bull team. Which is another reason why I think Yuki shouldn't have gone back to V-Carb. Yuki had so many years. 5 years in the sport? It's time to make way. Let Arvid join and make some mistakes. And that is another reason why I think that they are going to be P9. Agile lives in London. Big ups. I think Red Bull... you talk V-Carb. I think Racing Bulls wants to build Arvid up. Or Red Bull, sorry. Red Bull wanted to build Arvid up. I think it isn't a bad lineup. I don't think it's a bad lineup. I do think it's the weakest on the grid, however. Max leaves and Liam takes his seat. Liam and Hadjar at Red Bull. It's not going to be the same without Max. Most of you guys have said P7. A little bit more faith than me. But have faith, chat. Always have faith. There's the bottom 3. It's really sad to put V-Carb that low, but I couldn't find an excuse to put them higher. I think Liam will be Pierre Albon kind of thing, where it's like, go to Red Bull, they weren't satisfactory, and then you just go to another team and hope another team opens up. Because there's no way that Pierre or Albon go back to Red Bull, I don't think. All right, we're on to P8. Blimey, P8. What to say about this team? Excuse me. I feel like I start every single one with there's a reason for this. So I'm not going to start it with that this time. Liam to Cadillac. Aston Martin. Hopefully this song softens the blow for the Williams fans. I put Williams P8. Are you guys seeing the vision before I explain myself or no? The livery ranking is messed up. You agree? Not even lying. Spicy. P6. You thought it was Ferrari. 6, 7, 7, 6. Okay. We're not too far off. Keep in mind, I think that kind of like what we said with, I'm going to come back to this graphic, but kind of like what we said with the liveries, these bottom, I think the bottom the bottom 2 teams are going to be close. And then we're kind of going to the next bunch of people that could only be separated by a few points. And these are the teams where a P7 or a P8 actually makes a difference, which makes this infinitely harder. And if I tell you something for free, will you believe me? That I believe in the James Vowles project more than anything. Arguably, more than any project on the whole grid. However, I think expecting them to be higher up the grid this year is too soon. They have an amazing lineup. They will eventually have an amazing car, but missing a whole shakedown, that's tough, man. The only thing that's bringing them up is that Mercedes engine. MK, thanks for the follow. Most of you guys are saying P6. These teams you seem to be putting a little bit higher than me by 2 spots, which is fine. While I was making this, the statement I kept going back to is it's a long season. That's number 1. Number 2 is the development of these cars is so insanely fast that even though they're in the mud now, they could pick it up. They could be P6. I think P6 might be the ceiling for them this year. They did do the most laps this week, yeah, but I just feel like they're making up for lost time. However, I hope that I'm wrong, and I believe in the JV project. How'd they get 5th in the constructors then? What, last year? These are new regulations. This is completely fresh. I think James was expecting more when he was talking about the car last year. I think they'll fight for the occasional podium, but no wins. Albon 1 podium, Sainz 2 podiums. So you're saying P4 or P5 territory, right? I think you've forgotten the spanner engine at Aston. I have not forgotten anything. Everything has been taken into account. Everything's been taken into account. I think that sees out Williams. You guys are saying P6. I don't hate it. And I hope that you're correct. And I hope that I'm wrong. But these predictions were not based on hope. These predictions are based on feeling. Now, the next 2, P7 and P8, P6 and P7, these are the 2 teams that I was tempted to swap. Literally right now, but I can't because it's too late. Unlucky Cataronics, welcome back. He's going to put Aston P5. If P7 is Ferrari, you're being nice to the drivers. Thank you so much. Top 4 teams seem to be way ahead of the midfielders. I doubt Ferrari will be that bad. P7 and P6, I will not be split by much, I don't think. And it makes it so hard for me to place them because I think that they're opposite sides of the same spectrum, if that makes sense. Without giving it away, who P6 is, but I do want to do P7 first. P7 first for me, or P7 next in the order is Haas. I know you guys that are beating this Aston Martin drum are going to be thinking, where is Aston? You're putting them incredibly high for a team who can't seem to start their Honda engine. And it's fine. We'll get to that. My reason for putting Haas P7, and I feel like I like all of these teams, and I hope that all of them do well. I don't want to see any team do bad. My reason for Haas is that we have seen them in the past build a strong car that only goes backwards. We are yet to see Haas build a car that goes substantially forward. Ocon can get some consistent low point scoring. And I know that Behrman was consistent towards the end of the season, but again, it's a long season. I hope that he can take Haas to the promised land. But it's another situation where I won't believe it till I see it. Ollie is going to win at least one race. Ocon may even get a podium. You'd be putting them way higher than me then. I don't think that's going to happen. If I thought that's going to happen, they're going to be way higher. I hope they could. I also think that there's some added pressure on Ocon's side of the garage this year. Maybe that's going to cause some internal conflict. We've seen that Ocon's not afraid to get the elbows out with his teammate. We saw with Perez. We saw with Pierre. If there's some internal conflicts going on where they're racing close to each other, a call doesn't go his way, he's not afraid to kind of push you off track and make it known that you are the second driver, especially with Ollie being in his second season. Am I saying that team conflicts is the reason they're going to be P7? No. We're just yet to see them develop a car that goes substantially forward at the same pace as the other teams. I think that the teams ahead of them, even if they're going to be starting behind, will catch up and overtake. I think Ollie is a stud of a driver. Ocon will determine their constructor's position if he steps up. If no Ocon leadership, he should be replaced by Doohan. I somewhat agree. I know there's some Ocon lovers out there. And Ocon, I've said before, used to be a piece of the furniture for me in Formula One. You can't have a grid without Esteban Ocon. And when we did, it was strange. Now I'm starting to question where he is in the sport. And that goes as well for Gasly this year. I have more faith that Gasly is going to do well this year, genuinely. And I think come end of season, I'll look back at this and be like, he proved me right. He deserves to be in this spot. He's not at the same level as Ocon in terms of how harshly I'm going to be watching for that reason this year, but he's in that box. They're the two drivers in this box. I've said Haas P7. A lot of you guys have said P6. We're not too far off. I think that's a dub. It is a little bit left field, though, I think, for some people. You think Ollie's consistent at being at the points? I think when we're getting to P7, maybe P6, definitely P5, that's when, in order to finish there, you need to be consistent regardless. Because otherwise, you're not going to be there. Are we ready for P6? I think, Scarlett, you said it well. Ocon's going to determine their constructor's position this year. If he decides to fight for ego instead of points this year, Haas are going to have a rough conversation. All right, P6. I feel like I spoke about JV a lot and that I believe in the JV program. And another program that I believe in that is going to have a rough start, exactly like Williams, is Aston Martin. I know you might think they're fighting with one hand behind their back and there's a P11 vote straight away. Wow. I believe in short-term and long-term Aston Martin. The feedback that Alonso is going to be giving, and I'm going to assume they're primarily taking feedback from Alonso, most experienced driver on the grid, working with the most decorated car designer of all time. I think people are too reactionary from testing. I think it's like a short-term, not memory, but I can't think of a better word, recency bias. This is a long season. If you guys are complaining about the engine, that's fine. I'm not going to take that away from you. But what if come race 5 or race 6, their engine is fixed and they're focusing on aerodynamics and Adrian Newey has a massive, groundbreaking new aero package come Austria. And all of a sudden, we start to see 2023 Aston Martin again but last race, they were fighting for Q3. And now they're fighting with the top teams. What's going on here? They can't win the They can't win the drivers. They can't win the constructors. But holy moly, this one piece of aero, after they've figured out their engine, is holy shit. They're rapid. Their car's 40 kilos overweight to start the season. That weight is going to be cut. We're talking race 1, 40 kilos overweight. If what they're saying and what's coming out is true. If and when that weight gets cut, and also, if you guys have been following Adrian Newey's career, he's started every single time there's been a new regulation, he's started with an overweight car every single time. I know it's a lot of weight. That's a small person that they need to take out of that car, which is why I've put them in P6 and not higher. If they were starting the season, what it looked like from testing was that they were strong and their engine was working and they had Adrian Newey, it'd be a lot higher. But I'm not only trying to predict what happens at the start of the season, I'm trying to predict the entire season and a new regulation as well, which makes it all the more difficult. A lot of you guys said P11. I see where you're coming from. I just disagree. I think that Aston Martin, come end of season, is going to have surprised a lot of you guys. And the Alonso 33 is going to be up and about. And potentially, if he sticks around next season, Alonso, number 3, is going to be hanging about. And he'll retire after it's done. And he's won a world championship. But I know you could say, but what if he was at Mercedes? What if he was at Ferrari? What if he was at McLaren? I think arguably the best place for this guy, even though it's a Honda engine and we've seen how that's gone in the past, is Aston Martin. One of the best drivers on the grid who doesn't seem to age, partnered up with the genius of Adrian Newey. Insane. You thought you were low going P8? I think people are reading too much into testing, personally. Testing, for me, I take some part from it, but it's also a giant parade for me when you think about it. And I think if you're going solely off of this engine, what happens when it gets fixed? If you're going solely off of the weight, what happens when that gets cut? Adrian Newey knows how to develop a car, and that's the reason I put them above Aston Martin. That's the reason I put them above Haas. That's the reason I put Aston Martin above Haas. Because I've seen more proof from Newey that he can make a car rapid than Haas. Even though Komatsu, God bless him, he knows what he's doing. He's done a really good job. I just believe in Adrian Newey more. I believe in Alonso more than I believe in Behrman. I believe in Stroll. Maybe the same amount that I believe in Ocon. Yo, what's up, lass? I hope I'm right as well. Why is Alpine so high? Because Alpine are going to cook this season. What have I done? If you look at this at face value, it doesn't make sense. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you agree. But you have to listen to my reasoning, because there's reasoning behind everything. Especially this one. P5, Alpine. Yes, they're somewhat fighting with one hand behind their back. Oh, sorry, I haven't started the poll. They're arguably starting with one hand behind their back. And I know Franco. But we've got a glimpse of Franco in a good car. And I hope that we get to see a glimpse of Franco in a good car again this year. I don't want to completely write him off just yet. I mean, also, look at who we're comparing Alpine to. I know you guys were saying that the Aston Martin car isn't going to work. If that's the case, there should be no argument that Alpine finish above them because they have a faster car. They're minimum weight. No, if not, they're close to it. They have a Mercedes engine. If these are the two reasons that you guys were like Aston down lower, why would Alpine not be above them? Do you know what I mean? Do I like 24 or 25 season? 25 season a lot more. I enjoyed that, even though it ended in heartache. Yeah, I know Franco's a part of that team, but also so is Pierre. We've seen that when he's given the machinery, he can get a dub. And I do think that Alpine, their car is going to be able to fight for podiums this year. Whether that's true or not, whether Pierre's still up for it or not, yet to be determined. I think he is. I think when you're at the back for that long, all you want to do is be at the front. And it's going to be a case of, think about when he won in Monza. Who was behind him? Sainz. He's lived at the back of the grid for so long, and Sainz is like, I want this win, Dom. I want this. That's going to be Pierre this year. If they're fast enough and there's 4 races where they can fight for the dub, I want this win. Are you saying Alpine will perform better than Sainz and Albon at Williams? Yes. Yes. I was trying to find a reason to put Alpine higher, but I can't, which means Alpine is best of the rest. I think starting next season, they could be challenging for the top 3, top 4. I think P5 next year could be a very, very, very safe bet. Gasly P7 or P6, Gasly and Ocon are so underrated. I think Ocon's reaching his expiry date. Gasly, I still think he's got that dog in him. And one thing we're forgetting with all of these cars as well, and maybe we'll speak about it more when it comes to the drivers, but from all the reports that have come out, maybe the fastest car won't win. Maybe it's the smartest driver who can adapt. P-Gasly has that dog in him. They have massive wind tunnel time as well since they were last year. And they didn't bring a new car last year, meaning they have been developing time. Halfway through last year, Gasly said, I want to be a world champion. I think we can fight for the championship this year. Huh? You tell me that at Belgium last year, and I think you're delulu. From what we've seen so far, and I think what we'll see in the first couple of races, people are going to start to be, this guy's right. Who's the smartest driver? It depends. Maybe we'll talk about it with the drivers, but it depends if they have a hot head or not at the time either. I think we could see this is the first team of the year. This is the first team of the predictions where I'll say, I see a podium. I think the next 4, it's obvious. And if they don't, it's awful. And they've had an awful season. But being best of the rest, this is the first team where I'll say, I think we see a podium. That kind of means I think I see 5 teams getting a podium this year. Gasly did say in a podcast earlier in the year that he expects Alpine to be challenging for the championship. I'll be happy if he can get multiple points from last year by 6. Multiple his points from last year. Yeah, fair. You see a win? Do you think Hamilton will get a win or a podium? How about, let's touch on that when we get to Hamilton in the drivers. If we're talking overall smartest driver, you think Carlos Sainz? Yeah, what he did in Singapore was insane. All right, you guys have agreed to disagree. P7 to P8. Do you think that Alpine is going to be doing worse than what I've said? Fair enough. I believe in the Alpine project this year. Cool. We're on to P4. P4 have got the 4 big dogs, but in what order? I think the top 4. Let me know if I'm wrong, but the top 4 is the same for everyone, right? Just in a different order, but they're the same 4 teams. Max isn't smart because he's hot-headed. That's what I mean. I think he can be the smartest driver if he stops seeing red. I think even with that, he might be. Top 4 could be in any order. But the top 4, more or less, in any order, we have the same 4 teams. In no particular order, I'm going to go in constructors' order last year so that you guys know that nothing is being spoiled. Maybe it's for me because I don't want to spoil anything for you. Who won last year? McLaren? Then it was it Mercedes after that? Sorry, this is really finicky and splitting hairs, but here we go. The final 4 teams, McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. We all have those 4 teams in the top 4. But in what order? In P4, I've put something that you guys are 100% going to disagree with. I've put Red Bull. We might as well get rid of the P5 to P11 for these next 4. This might be my spiciest take of everything. Is anyone going to vote for them to be constructors? If you guys want to vote, number 1, 2, 3, 4 in chat. Well, that's how we are doing the voting. This might be my spiciest take. It's hard to place the top 4 because what if the top 4 at the end of the year are covered by 10 points? If Red Bull come 4th by a point, they're still 4th. I don't want you to, the same as liveries. I don't want you to think because I put them P4, I think they're going to be bad. They are going to be insane. Hadjar, chance for podiums. Max will get wins. But P4 is where they're going to live because the teams above them, I think, a more rounded out driver lineup. We know what the Red Bull second seat curse is, and until that shit is shaken, I'm taking that into account. So if Red Bull, if Max Verstappen in these new regulations can pull Red Bull to the top or to the top 2, impressive. And he's just about done it before, but he was fighting against one team. I think these top 4 teams are all going to have their weekends this year. Does that make sense? No one has said P1. For the amount of chats that were like, nah, what the fuck? P4 being second, I'll take that. If Isaac proves me wrong, I will be so happy. But this is not me doubting Max Verstappen. This is me doubting Red Bull as a team. Driven by Laurent McKees. With Isaac Hadjar in the second seat, who we're yet to see prove himself at Red Bull. We've seen anyone can do good at VCARB. Every single driver who has gone from VCARB or Toro Rosso or AlphaTauri to Red Bull has done good, and they've earned their spot at Red Bull. None of them, aside from Perez, who actually didn't even come from one of those teams, hasn't been good enough. Wouldn't be a team that would bring Red Bull to the top and to P1. Any of the top 4 could be put in any order, so that's fair enough. Yeah, I think if you're putting who put Red Bull P7, let's all gang up on that person. I want to predict Piastri to do good because he's calm, smart, because regulations suit him. Fair. If that comes true, I rate it. There you go, Red Bull P4. I love Red Bull. I hope they do better. I've said it for every team so far. I hope they do better. Who knows if they actually are going to? But now we're on to the big 3. I think Red Bull are P2 for most of the season, but McLaren bring a big upgrade near the end of the season and overtake Red Bull. McLaren aren't a stranger to doing that, are they? P2 though? So you're saying that McLaren would finish P2? Me? I'm kind of a P3 guy. Vote in the poll, 1 through 11. McLaren P3. There's a couple reasons. And there's a couple that I feel like I shouldn't say because it ties into the drivers. This is not going from 2024 till 2025. This is a brand new regulation. These guys need to readapt. Now that one of them is a champion, is this going to get in the way of what they're doing? You know what I mean? Is this going to... Papaya rules are changing. Are they going to get better or are they going to get worse? Some are saying champions, others P2. P3 is a little bit harsh. I understand why you guys are saying P1, and I know that McLaren is such a loved team as well. And it's very hard to see a team that is going back to back. They're defending champions right now, and they're going to P3. What? I think they have an insanely strong driver lineup. And we were saying with what team before? We were saying with Racing Bulls that their car might be fine, but the driver lineup, not it. These guys are the opposite. They've both been vocally not sure about these regulations. I think their car will be fine. We've seen McLaren develop a car, starting with do you guys remember the last regulation change? Do you guys remember 2022 and how their season started? Not good. If you want a spoiler. We've seen them develop a really, really good car. We haven't seen them start a season with a really, really good car yet. And it's a situation of, I'll believe it when I see it. They were horrendous. They were almost last. 23 was something. 24, you start to see them put their foot down. I do believe in the McLaren project more than back then, though. Back then, I didn't believe it. Now, I believe it a little bit more. P3 is McLaren. Let me hide that overlay. McLaren MasterCard F1 team. They have gone into P3, which leaves 2 teams. We've got Mercedes and Ferrari left. Same as the other one. Whoever I put P2, we're going to talk about them, and then we're going to get on to P1. Someone said 11. Breaking news: Max Verstappen is flying to Jeddah to test Formula E cars. I think that whoever I put P1 is staying P1. I think whoever I put P4 is staying P4. But McLaren and Ferrari can be interchanged, and I don't mind too much. Vote in the poll. I hope we see the old Lewis come back, and as much as I don't think we will, I think if there's any year for Charles Leclerc to shine, it's this year, baby. Yes, we'll be watching Formula Evo. Yes, we will be. Some people are saying P1, most, or P2, 3, 4 split is quite even. We've seen how good Hamilton is in a strong car. What if this year he is in a strong car battling his old team? He has a chance this year potentially to be a world champion at Ferrari. Who wants it more than him? Leclerc. Who can say anything about this? I would say any of the top 4 teams. You agreeing until P3? This year does feel promising for Ferrari, and I never really buy into the this year's our year hype. But now I do. He has Raikkonen's engineer, so trust the process. Trust the process. This P2 is more based on how strong their car has looked coming out of testing. And I know I don't read into it too much, but the reliability of that engine is insane. If their car is reliable and they only have to make it faster, it's hard to discount them. Just thought if we somehow sneak in time, do we reckon we could do a quick tier list ranking of every driver lineup pairing by ranking? I'd love to, JJ, but we've got under an hour to get through everything else, and I don't even have a tier list. So I wouldn't even spend time making one if I were you. I don't think we'll have time, but that's an amazing suggestion. If Lewis overtakes George last lap at Abu Dhabi, that would be poetic. Imagine the scenes to win the championship. Right, some of you guys have said the champion, and that's fair enough. I'm putting them P2, which obviously means that with the whole grid out of the way, Mercedes P1. I do think that a lot of you guys were gassing up Kimi before and saying that Kimi is going to be close to George, if not beating George. And if that's the case, and you haven't put Mercedes P1, I'm asking questions. If you've said Antonelli is going to be close to George, and and you've put them like P2 or P3, I'm asking questions. Also, remember the car Ferrari used was a Spec A car. That's just a basic car, so it may even get faster. Who knows? I mean, an upgrade is sometimes a downgrade. You never know. I need to wear a V-carb suit and make your hair blonde to make yourself look like Liam Lawson for the first race. Maybe I'll go to the Australian Grand Prix as Liam Lawson. I believe in the Mercedes projects. I believe in George Russell. I believe in Kimi Antonelli. I believe in Toto Wolff. What we've seen from testing, I think their car is full of sand. Mercedes are the greatest team at sandbagging. They did it for however many years. Mercedes is going to be P1 this year. I see an argument for Ferrari. I don't think it'll be McLaren. I don't think it'll be Red Bull. Because it's Kimi been making Netflix docs just about him. Yeah. George v. Hamilton championship fight, trust. Imagine the scenes. That would be insane. I do think that if you're looking at a title fight this year, from Mercedes, I'd put George. From McLaren, I'd put both drivers. From Ferrari, I'd put both drivers. From Red Bull, I'd put Max. we could have a good title fight this year. But with the new regulations, these cars could be swapping and changing who's the fastest at each track so much. What if Mercedes is always the fastest and everyone else is fighting for P2? Like, you never actually really know. That's why these are predictions. Stamp it, take a photo of it, hold me accountable. These are my constructor standing predictions for 2026. Arguably one of the hardest regulations to predict for ever. I stand by it. I'm not taking it back. And I'm certainly not apologizing. We are going to move on as well. What have we got so far? We've got Banger versus Clanger next, and then driver standings. New prediction: will Netflix portray the McLarens as villains than survive season? Could be 2023. Who knows? Right, we're going to get on to Bangers and Clangers. If you don't know, a Banger is a team that I expect to do really well this season. Not a team I expect to do really well. Banger is a team that I think will surpass expectation. A Clanger is a team that I think that I think people think are going to do well, that I don't think. And I mean, maybe we kind of gave it away with constructors, if you guys go on to remember it. But the first Banger is Alpine. I think I put Alpine best of the rest, and I think that they're going to surpass everyone's expectations in terms of car performance. Whether both their drivers perform is a different story. Let's all pretend to be shocked. Vote in the poll. 1 for yes, do you agree? 2 for no if you don't agree. I think we could see some podiums out of Pierre. I think we could see some wins out of Pierre. I even think in a fast car, Colapinto might be okay. So we see. Froggy Plays, thanks for the follow. We got the drivers next. And maybe we'll disagree more with the drivers, but we see. We can kind of skim through the Bangers and Clangers. All right, there were only 2 votes. That's fine. There's your Banger. Alpine F1 team. Banger. Clanger? If you had to guess, you got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clanger. And it's the same kind of stuff that I touched on before. Their car, sure, it'll be okay. Driver lineup, definitely not the strongest on the grid. So if they do well, I'll be happy, but I don't think they will be. If you guys had to pick someone as your Clanger, what are you saying? You thought Aston Martin will be Clanger? I think Aston will do better than what most people think. But I don't think they're quite Banger status if I had to pick one team. A lot of you guys agreeing? Okay, great. Awesome. Sweet. Cool. Great. Unanimous as well. Awesome. There you go. There's everyone. Bangers and Clangers. All of these graphics are going to be put in the Discord afterwards as well. All right? I guess we start the Drivers' Championship. I've done the top 10, okay? We're gonna get spicy when it comes to P8. You think Arvid will do better than Lawson? What a statement. Time to be scared. Yeah, this is when it becomes a little bit real. Cool. In P10, I've put Ollie Behrman. Vote in the poll where you think he's going to finish. 11 is basically not the top 10 if you type 11. If you want to vote in the poll, all you have to do is put a number of where you think they're going to finish. I think that Behrman has the potential this year to put Ocon in his place. I'm here. Get me to Ferrari. Get me to a top team. Please vote in the poll so I can get some sort of feeling of what you guys think. But if you're thinking about it, I don't mean to rush you. That means that wherever I put Haas in the constructors, I can't even remember, P7, I think. No, P8. I think that just speaks to how much Behrman is going to adapt and Ocon's going to kind of, you know what I mean. P10, Behrman. Shout out. If you guys want P11 or P22, just put 11. What's up, Max? We're up to drivers. Everything's going to be put in the Discord afterwards. It's fine. All the photos. Who put Bam in P6? Yeah, P6, P7. Remember, for every give, there has to be a take. If you're putting him up, who's coming down? A lot of you guys are saying P9. Some of you are saying not in the top 10. I think towards the bottom of the single digits, 10, maybe 11th. Fair enough. P9 is the winner. Majority rules says P9. There's the P10. We've got an empty graphic once again. And I've got so many of you to piss off right now. The rage baiting opportunities are plenty, although this is not. If only it was. The next driver who's going into P9, I think we can get onto this pretty quickly because the top 8 is where it gets spicy. I've put P Gaza. Big ups P Gaza. Cool. Big ups P Gaza. Where do you guys think he's going to finish? Sorry, I haven't started the poll. There you go. Vote now. Use your numbers in chat. If Alpine has the dog that I'm convinced they have, I have no complaint to this guy being P9. Fighting for some podiums. Fighting for some, maybe a win. But you guys have seen that I put Alpine best of the rest, and I put Alpine as the banger. So is it any surprise that he's also best of the rest in the drivers below the top 4 teams? This isn't a spoiler, but the top 8 drivers are from the top 4 teams. That's just the way math works. Me too, Falcon. I'm trying to find, I feel like with most teams and most drivers, I'm trying to find a reason to put them higher, but sometimes there just isn't one, and that's all right. What are we saying? You guys are saying out of the points. I might be one of the select few who believe in the Alpine project this year. And I understand that it's tough because they've not looked very good for a long time now. Basically, since their Renault days, aside from a couple of races. But if there's a year that Alpine are going to come back firing on all cylinders, especially Pierre, this is Pierre's year to remind the grid that he's a driver of some sort of caliber. And maybe he doesn't win a championship. And if he does, maybe he doesn't win it at Alpine. But worst case, you're putting your name in the hat for when silly season eventually kicks off. You stand with me? Thank you. Great. We're on to P8. I think when you look at all of my, majority are saying bottom 12. Wow. When you look at my predictions and sync them up with my constructors, I don't think it's all that surprising, but it's more like what order. We're on to the top 4 teams, and this is going to be harder to, A, it was harder to place. B, it's going to be harder to show you guys. I'm putting myself out there today. In P8, another driver that I'm trying to find a way to put them higher, but this is where they fell when I simulated the season in my head, which is sometimes wrong. I've put Isaac Hadjar. He might be the single driver out of the top 8 that I'm trying to find a reason to put higher. He's had some good performances. With Red Bull's second seat curse, I'm kind of like, it's not being shaken. It's not being shaken until I see it's been shaken. So far, I think everything I've showed and reasoned has been very realistic. Red Bull will give him a good car. He will break it. Red Bull are also no stranger to giving their drivers a good car. Max has won championships. Max has won races. Perez has won races. Yuki had a good car while Max was winning. Liam had a good car while Max won a race. Perez was doing crap while Max was winning. So it's not so much can Red Bull give Hadjar a good car, because yes, they can. Can Hadjar be Max Verstappen's teammate? I would say that this is a disappointing season for Hadjar if he does finish P8 as well. which is another reason why I hope I'm wrong. A lot of you are saying P8. Okay, a lot of you, wow, some of you are saying P as high as P5. Chat, what's to give? I would love to place Hadjar P5, but something has to give. I think Kimi will be better because of the car than Hadjar. Excuse me. All right, P8. There we go. We're on to P7. You and me, we run the same course. I think this is reasonable. I had 2 drivers in the right spot for my top 10 last year, just for reference. And this year is so much harder. He did have a very good rookie season, and he deserves the call up to Red Bull. But when I'm comparing him to his teammate, Mercedes drivers, McLaren drivers, Red Bull drivers, Ferrari drivers, I just could not find a single reason to bring him up the order. P7 makes a little bit less sense, but it's almost the same reasoning if you twist it a little bit as Hadjar. At the start of last season, before the season had even started, I had no faith as well. And I think that continues on to this year. Let me know where you guys place him, but I've put Lewis Hamilton P7. Do you agree with the statement the worst driver can win in the best car, but the best driver can't win in the worst car? No. Facts. Well, I agree. 5, 8, 6, 3, 7, 7, 11, 2, 7, 22. I think Ferrari are going to have they have a strong car, and me putting them second in the constructors, you guys might be like, dude, what the fuck? How are they second, but he's all the way down here? I'm not going to rebuy. Maybe this is like a trauma response. I'm not rebuying into the Hamilton hype until he proves me wrong. Same as Hadjar, same as Gasly, same as Bam, and I hope that they prove to me that they can go higher. And I know they're not proving it to me, but I hope that they prove me wrong is what I'm trying to say. Most of you saying P7. Okay. I was really nervous about that. I'm glad that you guys are like somewhat agreeing. Thank God. Do we have to touch on this for long, or should we move on? Him, Kim, Ferrari, triple curse. Actually, mine doesn't make any sense. You take that back. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, P3. Something's got to give. A lot of you said P7. Thank you for the agreeance. There it is. I want to take a second to say thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you're new, please follow. And after this, we are going to be watching Formula Evo, which if you've not, I've never seen it. So if you want to watch it with me for the first time, I'm going to be sharing it on my screen so you guys can watch with. Okay? Now that that's done, we can move on to P6. You're agreeing with me for a lot of this? Okay. Maybe this is where we come to that fork in the road where you're not sure what the fuck I'm talking about. Because Hamilton, I've put in P7, but I've said that Mercedes are going to win. P7, I've put Lewis Hamilton, but I've said Ferrari are going to finish P2 in the Constructors' Championship. That makes a little bit less sense. However, this might confuse you a little bit more. Antonelli, I've put P6. And there's a few reasons for it. There's the poll. Formula Evo is Formula E, yes, but it's content creators. I've put Antonelli P6. Some of the reasons I'll need to explain when I get to the next 2 drivers. Another one is that I think this season is going to be close. So if the season is close, P6 isn't bad at all. And I've also said in my hot takes that Antonelli is going to be outscored by Russell by more than 75 points. So from P6 to wherever I put Russell is going to be covered by 75 points is basically what I'm saying, which I don't think is unrealistic. At least I hope not. A lot of you guys are saying P5. That's not too far off what I've said. Yeah, what's up, Dabin? Close championship. Who knows? George could be P5, and there's a 75-point gap between here and P5. A lot of you saying P5. I like that. In terms of going P5, one of the McLaren boys, if you're going through what I've said, one of the McLaren boys, what's that, 2? Verstappen, Russell, who am I missing? And Leclerc. Someone needs to give. I'm coming back, Lukey. How's the yearly rage bait session going? This is not rage bait. A lot of people have agreed with me today. You saw me on your homepage. That's so nice. Hell yeah. Homepage vibes. They're making the cars like this to let women in to compete. No, I don't agree with that. Happy birthday, Dan. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Right, a lot of you saying P6. I hope my reasoning makes it make sense. However, I need to place these guys in order, and I'm putting myself out there and saying this is where this guy is going to finish. It's hard, isn't it, Flavin? It is borderline impossible. Here's the standings so far. Looking at the next bunch of people, I again stand by it because I can't find a way for him to go up higher. You think you've got your final prediction now? All right. Buckle in. Okay. I think I'm ready. That is a hot take, Liam. Right. I'm putting the vote up on the screen now, so I stop stalling. But vote when you see who I put there, because P5 this season. Some people have said he's going back to back. I'm writing my predictions. I'm sorry, Flavin. I'm writing my predictions, and I need to tick a few boxes. Box number 1. Piastri is going to beat Norris this season. That's the first box that had to be ticked. The second box was, how is McLaren's performance? Is this going to be beating him 1-2 in the championship? Maybe this is heart over head, but I genuinely believe that Piastri is going to beat Norris this season. The next box was, how is McLaren's car going to be? Are they going to be fighting for the championship? Or are they going to be fighting for podiums and the potential win? The next box was, how are team orders going to go in terms of papaya rules? And the most important one to me was, now that Norris has a championship, is he going to be fiery for a second? Or is he going to be happy to... Maybe that's... I need to choose my wording super carefully here. Now that Norris has a championship, is it going to be as do or die as last season was? Is he going to be taking everything to heart? Probably not. Is he going to be so antsy about being a couple points behind? I don't think so. There is a flip side to that, Flabbin. This could mean that we get a relaxed Lando because we already have one. Any more is a bonus. I don't think it goes that way. I'm sorry, Norris fans. I've put him P5. Spicy. It is weird to see number 1 in P5. It's weird to see a defending champ in P5. I think I put Max second last year, maybe third, and he didn't win. So it obviously does happen. Oh, Vic's seen these. I just got the side eye. Where's signs? I don't have a number, but P11 to P22. I think this moves us on to our next point quite quickly. If you're saying heart over head, you can't say that anymore. Because if my heart was, if I was choosing with my heart instead of my head, I would have put him as the champion. And this list went through so many revisions where the top 5 were in every single order. My pre-final list, the list that I was looking at before I started making the graphics and doubted myself, had Oscar in P1, but it just did not make enough sense. How do you put Oscar in P1 and Lando in P5 when they are the closest matched teammates on the grid, when I don't think their car is going to be fastest majority of the time? I think these guys, once again, will be very closely matched. I just think Piastri gets the upper hand. I said it when we were looking at Lando in P5, and I'm sticking to it when we're saying that Piastri's in P4. I don't like predicting with my heart. I like predicting with my head. This could come back to bite me, but that is fine. That's fair, Vettel. That is fair. A lot of you guys are saying P3. Some people are saying champion. I wanted to make him champion so bad. I was rearranging the top 10 in every single order ever in order to make that happen. But I could not sit there and make graphics on something that I don't believe. Just because I'm a Piastri fan doesn't mean I'm predicting him to be P1. Do I want him P1? Yes. Do I want him to win the championship this year? Yes. Do I want to go to the AusGP and watch him win? Yes. But I couldn't sit here and lie to your face saying that I think he will. I want him to, but I don't think he will. If I left him in P1 like I had originally planned, I would be lying to your face, and that doesn't sit well with me. Imagine Kimi winning the title now. Imagine all of this is wrong and it's all Kimi. Nice, Bugatti. Which ones? Let me hide this. My apologies. There's the top 4. We're on to the top 3. Everything, if I'm speaking in vain, everything that I've said has been reasonable, I think. I think the reasoning that I've given for everyone has been reasonable. Eternal, thank you for the follow. I've spoken about Kimi having a 75 point or more gap to George, and that's accounted for. I've spoken about Isaac a lot. We spoke about Alpine. We've spoken about Ollie versus Ocon. V-Carbon Ferrari, nice. Imagine Kimi winning the title now. I'll be realistic with Williams, but you'll always put Oscar P1. Fair. I mean, depending on team performance and if he drives out of his skin, there's an argument for him to be P1. I just couldn't sit here and because I know that there's consequences of this. All season, I have to sit here and say, I think Oscar's going to win the championship. It's tough to lie to you guys so much. However, let's move on. P3. P3, I've put Charles Leclerc. Let me know what you guys think. That does mean there's 2 drivers left. This top 5 is... Sorry, Kai. This top 5 is incredibly hard to place. I put Leclerc as champion last year, but I was full of copium. I'm not putting him as champion this year. I think he will have an outstanding season. And I think that every season I have been streaming, I've been harsh on Ferrari, and I've looked at what Ferrari are doing, and I'm like, what the fuck? I think this year is the first year that Ferrari pull their heads out of their asses. And I think that Leclerc can start getting a lot out of the car. I think that team decisions make more sense. I think that their car is fast. I think he wins multiple Grand Prix. I think he's battling for a podium every single week. It might be the case, Flabbin, unless Ferrari pull a mad one out this season and next year is our year is so alive. You need to tell me why Antonelli over Hamilton. I spoke about it when we were on Antonelli's segment. On YouTube, you should be able to scrub back. As much as I'd like for him to win a title in red, I think he needs to switch. It's sad times, isn't it? You guys have put him so low. You guys have put him much lower than I initially thought. Holy shit. Right. P5 is majority. Some people are saying champion, and I respect it. Oh, no. You guys are agreeing with me now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to vote in the poll. What about Hamilton? We've spoken about Hamilton. I think Charles, Aston, Kimi, Ferrari. Fair. I think Ollie to Ferrari before Kimi, though. All right, there's the poll. It looks like you guys somewhat agree with me. No one's put him as runner-up. He either wins the championship or it's more than an arm's reach away. Right, P3, Charles Leclerc, GG. I think a P3 for Charles Leclerc this season is a dub. Dino to Haas. P3 for Charles Leclerc on the first year of these regulations is a dub. That does leave two drivers. We've got Verstappen and George left. Halfway through last season, I said something that when I was predicting these, I took back. But I'm back on it. I think Verstappen will never, ever, 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 ever go away. I'm moving this because it's covering his face. Verstappen will never go away. He's going to get the most out of that car all season. I think this championship has the potential to be tight, and it's so hard to pick. I don't want you... This is the same as constructors, same as liveries. I don't want you... I have to order these guys. I don't want you being like, this guy hates Max. Fuck this guy. Second? Fuck you. I have to place them. And based off what I've seen at through testing and the reports that have come out, and like we truly really don't even know when you think about it. I'm putting in P2. He was P2 last year, brother. And they had like the 8th fastest car some races, I swear to God. And he's putting that shit on the podium. I also think a Max v George title fight will feed generations. The most toxic championship battle F1's seen in a very long time. Even though Verstappen finished P2 last year. He also hates these regs. I think he'll get used to it, but it's so weird to think. A lot of you guys are agreeing with P2. Thank you. You're making me feel seen and heard. We have one more driver to talk about before we go over to the Formula E Evo sessions, which is going to be super exciting. Stick around for that. There's the poll. Most of you guys, 60% of you guys have said P2. That is an overwhelming majority. I know some people won't be happy with that. What's up, Rat? How you doing? Love you, Davin. He'll drive through the new regs in spite. Your prediction is fair. I say that predicts no wins for all the Verstappen. That's people just straight up don't like Verstappen. Trying to feel better, I think. I mean, if I didn't think Oscar was going to win a race this year, I'd say I don't think Oscar's going to win a race this year. But I think he will. Right. P1. Oh, I don't even need to stall. We got George. Vote in the poll where you guys think he's going to finish. I think we see a new champion. I think we see back-to-back British. I think Mercedes is going to be strong. I think that Kimi's going to be an awesome second driver after he is no longer able to win. And even if he's close but not close enough, Toto's going to be on your bike. We need you to test these softs for us and see if they're good. I know you're in the middle of a race. Come in early and check out the softs. It's not quite ready for dries, but we just need to check. Tommy said Max no wins, bruh. Russell Verstappen Leclerc title fight, and Oscar. A lot of people predicting champion. I mean, he's the bookie's favorite for a reason. You can't ignore it. Not only do I think he's gonna win, I think he's ready. I think he's gonna smash it. I think he's gonna do a great job. I think he's primed. He's ready for the championship. He's ready to be in the fastest car. He has done so much waiting. I think Formula One with him at the front this year is going to be exciting. This isn't even speaking as a Mercedes fan. This is me speaking as a Formula One fan. Wowee, what a crazy prediction. For you, Kimi over Russell. My hot take this year was Russell to outscore Kimi by at least 75 points. Let's do a cheeky little recap, shall we? Before we kick it over, which I'm very excited to watch. I'll have to work out how to change my YouTube streams. Right, drivers, let's start at the bottom, shall we? These are my liveries. Take a screenshot, have a look. If you ever want to know my reasoning, it's staying live on YouTube. The VOD is staying live. You can go back to any single one. We spoke about them all in depth. You think Kimi beats Russell? Wowee. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Hot takes. Christian Horner to re-enter the paddock in 2026 as team principal. In the first 3 dry qualifying sessions, the gap between P1 and P22 in Q3 will be more than 5 seconds. Antonelli will be outscored by Russell by more than 75 points. Constructors' standings are shown on screen. Cadillac P1 on livery, yes. Banger and Clanger team. A Banger is a team I think will do better than everyone expects. A Clanger is a team that I think everyone thinks will do all right, but I don't think will do any good. And Drivers' Championship. There we are. All my predictions are out into the open. Let the universe do with it what it will. I think this is what's going to happen. Is it what I hope is going to happen? No, because if it's what I hope is going to happen, Oscar would be P1. You rate the predictions? Thank you. They are all going to go into the Discord after the stream. If you want to watch that, there it is. That's where it's going. You think Hadjar is going to cook? I hope he's going to cook as well. Well, sorry, you think, I hope. Fair, realistic? Thank you. Thank you. I try not to be too unrealistic. Hadjar top 5. Oh, that's crazy. The thing is, it's so much has to give. In order for certain things to happen, things have to give. And looking at where I put Hadjar, I can't put him above Hamilton, Antonelli, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Verstappen, George. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like he lives there. I'm going to change the title. Oh, fair enough. What's this called? Evo Sessions. Formula E Evo Sessions Content Creator Race. That's what we're calling it. Mods, could we please ping the Discord? I think we get into that kind of mood. YouTube, I'm going to quickly switch over streams. So if you guys will meet me in the other one that's on my channel, that would be great. Thank you. I'll see you guys over there. You don't want to miss it. The Evo Sessions is on YouTube, yes, but I'll be sharing my screen as well so you guys can watch with. Where am I going? Yeah. Bye, YouTube.